It is time to start the show. Welcome to a last minute edition of the Aaron O Show. I appreciate you guys being here. I was not planning on going live, so I just got an earful from somebody who because they mad I didn't tell them I was going live. The things we do. It wasn't planned. It wasn't planned because I wasn't going to go live. I wasn't going to go live. I was chilling, but I said, maybe a small live, just a sit back, chill thing. I'll do it for a minute because I know everybody else is live and I don't know. I'm not exactly sure, but I've seen some of the thumbnails. So that lady is very popular, the one with the brick. The lady is very popular, the one with the brick. I'm not going to cover that. Just not going to cover that. But there are some things that I do want to talk about. But first, I must acknowledge the sponsor of the last show, J Hub. Shout out to J Hub for supporting the channel, supporting the show. I appreciate you, bro. I know it was a crazy few hours for you that day as you went from my show, Fatty Show. So, shout out to you because you always support it. I appreciate it. But actually, I find the shows that I randomly put together at the last minute be the most fun for me. But they also challenge me the most because I want it to be interesting. I want it to have replayability. I want people to connect with it. I want people to be engaged. So it's fun. I do. My last stream is going to come down. So the last stream I did was, what was it? It was the initial thoughts about the Fight Club restructuring from the first implementation of it last week, I believe. Was it last week? I don't know. No, maybe it was this week. Did we just implement? We just implemented it, right? What's today? Let me look this up. I'll be not even knowing what day it is half the time. Yes. Yeah, this weekend. And so that particular stream was just to gauge people's thoughts, insights, and it kind of spiraled out of control because it wasn't a structured show that I normally do. And that's what came of it. So I don't necessarily want people clicking my channel and go, ooh, let's watch this. So Grizz said he wanted to watch the show because he doesn't miss no show. So I have to. Grizz is one of the biggest supporters of me. So everybody, I always notice people who are consistently supporting, showing up to the shows, and he is definitely one of them. So I reposted the stream so he can watch the show. And once he's done, I'm going to pull the stream back down because I don't know. I don't really care for it. It's not important to me. I normally like for people to see the shows, to go back and see progression and evolving and things like that. But that particular show, I don't see where it fits, right? So that's what happened with that. So that show is definitely going to come down. And this show is more on the lines of a possibility. I don't really have members only, so I can't put it on a members only thing. But one day I'll have a members only, right? So as I'm sitting back, relaxing, chillaxing, and I saw a couple guys were up to no good. Now, I'm just kidding. But I was sitting back and I saw some things cross my path. And I said, I just want to talk to people about this because this has me feeling and thinking a certain type of way. Now, let me be the first to say, these are not a finished thought process, but these are thoughts that's weigh heavy on my mind. Weighs really heavy on my mind. So I will lean into some of you guys' insight because I know I'm a very particular type of person. I know I am. And so I'm struggling with how my brain is wrapping around these ideas, these thoughts right now, and I need it to make sense. And so I'm going to be saying things that you guys may agree or disagree with, and that I'll glean and hopefully get some of your insight to where I should look at it like this, or I should be viewing it like this, because I can be kind of off right now. And it's really more around what I saw popping off with Chrisean rock and whatnot. The other things are just kind of like things I want to touch on briefly before I get into that. Vanny, that stream is on my community tab. I think you were there. Don't worry, it's not nothing you would miss, I don't think. It's just my previous stream, that's all. I saw something that discussed about a 2-week notice. I saw something that was talking about a 2 weeks notice, and I said, I've seen multiple people speak about 2-week notices in a very similar way. I've seen multiple people speak about that in a very similar way. And so it got my mind engaging, and I'm intrigued to briefly discuss that. Do I even have that post? I need to find it. I have it somewhere. I just need to find it. Ooh, that's a bad one. That is a very bad post. That young lady is not a very good person. I'm not going to play that post. Where is that post? I know it's here somewhere. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, here it is. Gotcha. See, she almost escaped me, but I didn't let you get away. If you guys, I want to try something new in this stream. I haven't done it in a while, but I just want to know what state or city you guys are in, because I kind of like to see where the people in the chat are geographically located, because it lets me know if I'm going to get in trouble talking about the South. Or, right now I'm not talking about New York, so I'm just talking about the South right now. So New York has been off the hook. So I'm just intrigued. I just want to know where everybody is right now, so I get a nice, well understanding of where people are at. Kazi, you cannot be all over the place. This ain't Monopoly. Okay, we got Ohio in the building. Dion, you in Hawaii? Man, I know it's crazy out there right now. ZB said from Miami but reside in Seattle. Okay, okay. Ohio is in here the most right now. Alaska, man, no black people live in Alaska. We ain't falling for that trick. We ain't falling for that trick. We know it ain't no black people in Alaska. Come on now, it's too cold down there. It's 100% too cold down there in Alaska. We know ain't no black people in Alaska. I know I got a lot of people in Texas for sure. Okay, Sam said North Carolina. Well, I guess I got no New Yorkers in here. Okay, I'm not gonna get in trouble for that. But Vanny Rule, I do know where you're from. New Orleans. No, New Orleans causing too much trouble right now. New Orleans is in too much trouble in it right now. So they some of the biggest culprits of what's going on right now. I'm gonna stay away from them. I'm gonna stay away from them 100%. Shout out to J Hub. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Dallas. So it was interesting because I never been to Texas, but I like the videos where they show me all this spacious backyards, because we don't really have that out here. They look so nice. It's like my backyard got a backyard. So it's pretty cool. But going to Texas, in particular Dallas or Fort Worth or Dallas Fort Worth, all that stuff, as an Eagles fan, makes me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I am an Eagles fan, but I'm not one of those people that go crazy and want to fight over being a fan. Don't want to do that. No. Because see, that quarterback got $250 million and I didn't. I shouldn't get beat up because they beat you in the football game. Leave me alone. Sherelle said you coming to Dallas. No, I have not made up my mind. I have a large window because I'm not in a rush. Thanks to all these market conditions, I get to sit back and watch things that's going on play out, watch everybody scramble to survive. So no, I'm not in a rush, but it's going to be interesting. I'm reading about these student loans that's coming back into play. I'm reading about these foreclosures that's coming back into play. I'm reading about these rent increases. I'm reading about these landlords playing within the rules. And me, this is where patience come to my benefit. Although I will admit, I did end Fight Club early because they was just driving me crazy. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I've never frustrated enough to start cursing people out or out of their name. But man, they took that show away, and I was like, oh. And I couldn't really be mad because technically the show is designed to go any and every way, even though we're restructuring it and tailoring it right now. And I told y'all there has to be a level of patience involved. So I couldn't really be mad at them, but I definitely was like, no, they're gonna ruin the show. I need to save it for another time. Because I really, really want to get into that conversation about Africa and why people don't want to go there, the benefits and all these different things, because people speak so positive or negative about it. So that conversation will happen. It's just they didn't want to let it happen then because hip hop got involved. And when hip hop get involved, everybody got a rapper that they love that says something spectacular that changed their lives. So that derailed the whole conversations. Yeah, Vanny Rue, you're right. I need to find a place that has a basement so that I can move my mom in and still live in her basement. So that's on my list too. That is on my list too. Don't worry. But that threw me all the way off. So that show had to end. But like, if you guys watched the last stream, I was just like, nope. They ruined it. But it was fun. It was dope. It was a good combo, but it was not what I want to discuss. So it is what it is. But I want to discuss briefly because I want you guys' thought. But I'm going to need my computer charger because my computer is going to die. All right, we good. Computer charger is effectively working. Yo, these people wild in the chat today. All right, now I want to get into Chrisean Rock. I want to talk about the pushback that I was getting for some of my thoughts around the 3-date rules. And then also I want to talk about this 2-week notice. And then also I want you guys' thoughts on the 2-week notice. It's very, very important. Hemi, what up? He says KD said DC is the Bay's second cousin. Laughing out loud. It's Kevin Durant. Listen, I will concede to him. I have not been to DC. I might have to go one day. I'm not trying to go to no meetups, but people have been trying to get me to go to meetups. And I think it's a setup. I think they want to get me to go to a meetup because they want to throw me in a locker. Yeah, I think they want to throw me in a locker and give me a wedgie. So I think it's a setup trying to get me to come to these meetings. Yeah, so I'm not falling for it. But DC might be the Bay's second cousin. I would probably I don't know him. We might have to look into it because eventually, I'm not gonna lie, I will probably get a travel bug where I want to start traveling a lot more. But right now, I hate traveling. Man, every time I think about packing the luggage, carrying the luggage, going through TSA, bypassing TSA, like every aspect of it, I just do not like. The only thing I like is my body physically being in the location that I want to be in. That's it. So now you guys know I'm practical, so I can't complain and still want the outcome. So I just have to give in. I just have to give in. But I want your guys' quick thoughts on what this, I don't know, I'm going to say young lady says about 2-week notice. Okay.
I don't believe in the whole 2-week notice thing. Oh, why am I giving you 2 weeks to let you know that I'm leaving when if you were going to fire me or lay me off, you would let me know that same day? Oh, I need to set boundaries. So the same respect that you would give me, I'm going to give you back. Jobs and corporations don't treat us with the same respect and loyalty that they expect for us to give them. If you want me to give you 2 weeks, I need you to at least give me a month to get my life together, because a lot of people have children, elderly parents or grandparents that they have to take care of. A lot of people are on disability. A lot of people are preparing to have a family. A lot of people are probably on the verge of an eviction notice or homelessness. So the same respect and loyalty that you want me to give your brand, I need to feel that. And if not, y'all gonna get the same immediate notice that you would give me.
I hope that reaches every HR office globally.
What do you guys think? Should we hire more women that think like that? I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering. Let me give you my blanketed thoughts. I disagree vehemently. She is 100% wrong. You should always give a 2 weeks notice. You should always conduct yourself in a professional manner. Always. And she's mostly wrong about that. She's mostly wrong about that. I know there's this theory going around that a job will just fire you out the blue. That's a lie. It's a real big lie. Jobs don't just fire people out the blue. They actually have reason or cause. It's partly required to fire people. You need to have cause. And there is a huge distinction between being fired and laid off. It has huge ramifications. They are very, very different. And what they directly impact is your ability to file for unemployment. Whether you were laid off, whether you were fired for cause, means something. It absolutely means something. So the thoughts that you believe, because what you've been seeing on social media, and I can't stand the fact that social media is destroying and distorting so many people's views, especially this relationship stuff. But even it's touching on every aspect of everywhere else right now. Not just relationships. It's touching on how people want to work. It's touching on every aspect, business, everything. Social media is destroying and warping people's reality. And it's scary for the people who have no influence, that have no leadership, that have no parents, that have nobody that's a steady rock to guide them. They're learning from TikTok. They're learning from TikTok. Ladies, if it's one thing I want y'all to know, go ahead and watch TikTok. It's fun, ladies. But do not believe TikTok is the real deal. Do not believe TikTok is going to give you a real life experience. Remember, right is right and wrong is wrong, and the world is the world. Write that down. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and the world is the world. The world is the world. Do not confuse the two. Do not confuse. The world don't know the difference between right and wrong. The world exists. The people within the world and their arbitrary experiences, their moral clause, all these things are very different. But the world don't care about none of that. Life will go on whether I'm here, you here, or not. But when you have people telling y'all, oh, I don't care, and women, y'all have to be careful, because y'all get this rush of energy when y'all see other women do something and y'all want to support it solely because they're women. That is a very dangerous message to tell somebody. It's one thing to say it and stand on it. It's another thing to say something and go, let me retract. I didn't mean it like that. You know, that's different. But let's be honest. Y'all know she really feel like that. And I'm honestly, I'm disgusted, because it's a lie. You can leave your job whenever you want. You don't have to give a 2 weeks notice. It's up to you. But your job typically lets you know a lot. It's very, very rare that your job just walk to you one day and say, hey, you're fired. You guys are right. They build cases. They usually fire you for cause, or they lay you off, or they give you a package. And I'm not talking about the little packaging that you got to go to the doctor for to make sure you ain't got none of them diseases. I'm saying they give you a package, a compensation package for your time served in the company. Let's just be honest. So always give a 2 weeks notice. It's just good. It's a good business thing to do, and it's way you don't burn bridges. Because you might want to come back. You might want to job hop and go up another level and then come back. You might want to leave a company. You might want to take your licenses. You might want to take credentials that this company trained you for and take it to another company. You just use them and you leverage another company to get more money. You keep trying to reinvent how business works and how the world works, and it's starting to hurt you guys a lot more than you're paying attention to. Yes, they will start nitpicking, Lauren. You're absolutely right. I've seen it done. I've never really had to build cases on people because most people fire themselves, to be honest with you. In my experience, firing people, they fire themselves overwhelmingly. So they make it very easy for you to get rid of them. Now, it's really hard to fire somebody, by the way, but in my experience, most people fire themselves. But I've watched people get cases built on them. Absolutely. And let me tell y'all a secret. Stop going to work thinking this. I'm just here not to be y'all friend. I'm just here to collect my paycheck. Boom. Don't ask me personal questions. Let me tell y'all a secret. Having a personal relationship with the people that you work with, the bosses, etc., extends your ability to be successful in business. When y'all keep talking about networking, you sound like an idiot to think that you're going to work with people and not build a personal relationship with them, because that's going to directly benefit you. The difference between you getting fired and somebody else is getting fired could be that they like you. The very big difference could be that they like you and that they don't want to build up a case on you and that they delay building a case on you. So let me give you an example. Sometimes there's a time criteria, right? So if you make a mistake, you're on 6-month probation, whatever the case is, right? But if your manager, who really, really seems to like you, they may not document you when they've been told to by HR. They might say, hey, you should document this. And they go, okay, and they never do it. And they never do it. And they say, oh, I totally forgot. And they cover for you. They cover for you solely because you're a benefit to the business and they like you. Do not listen to people who say show up to work and don't be liked and just get a paycheck. It's the wrong attitude to have. Always build relationships. Make it difficult for somebody to want to get rid of you. Ain't no shame in that. Ain't no shame in that. So I 100% disagree with that thought by her. It's a very, very bad idea. But I cannot get mad at her if that's what y'all want to do. If y'all want to walk out, if y'all want to be able to leave your job by saying, hey, I quit immediately, go ahead and do it. But there are big consequences when you make actions like that. So me personally, I don't support it. I'm not going to tell none of y'all to not put your 2 weeks in. Put your 2 weeks notice in and give the job the proper respect that they earned for giving you a paycheck for all these years. Now, a lot of you people are stealing money from the job anyway. Let's just say that. A lot of y'all just stealing money anyway, right? And let's be honest. Can we touch on this aspect? Let's touch on this aspect. This right here is a post about
out and delivered a strike notice to Dunkin' Donuts. The reason why I just walked out is because it's the beginning of Dragon Con. It was already a busy morning, and it's going to get more busier today. Donuts is going to make a lot of money. They're going to make hundreds, thousands of dollars today. They don't want to give us workers any type of raise or bonus for working this weekend, and it's just not fair to the workers. We've had enough. We're walking out and let them handle the rest of it. But we're not going to just stand there and work for them all day like that. If they don't want to give us the money for it, we deserve the money. People that are working in the same building as us making $20 an hour just to work for DragonCon, we're not getting anything extra. So we walked out.
Let me explain to you what transpired. Okay, several workers at Dunkin' Donuts in Atlanta walked out in the middle of their shift. They decided to go on strike because they did not receive a raise, and they feel like they're being forced to work during a busy convention called DragonCon. Now, DragonCon workers are getting $20 an hour, and they're not getting paid anything close to that. So you see how that works? You see how businesses have to deal with the fact that you don't have to give a 2 weeks notice. You can walk out whenever you want. You can go on strike whenever you want. You don't have to work. All within your rights, by the way. And the business has to deal with the fact if they have workers who are unhappy about pay within their rights, they can leave. I'm not necessarily mad at them, but I want you guys to understand when a woman is telling you a job will just fire you and I don't need to give no 2 weeks notice. Well, look at what the job has to deal with. An employee can just walk out in the middle of a job. See, you give one side of the story and you make it seem like you're saying something so profound when you're not. And See Through You says they can fire you whenever they want, hence at will job. No. Most jobs don't fire people, and it's actually rare that people actually get fired. How many times have y'all seen people working somewhere where y'all know they should be fired, they still there? It's not about it being at will, because even at will has certain restrictions. You guys really look, this at will thing, y'all have to look a little more deeply into, but most people get fired for cause or laid off. You either get fired for cause or you get laid off. Different things. But the point being, when you're fired for cause, they document it typically. Otherwise, they get sued because you normally have a process. Usually put people on probation, et cetera, et cetera. So most of the time, it's not a weird thing. You walk into the office, oh, by the way, you're all fired. That's a myth. That's a myth. Most of the time, people get laid off, which is vastly different and have unemployment implications to it. Because if you're fired for cause, what happens? You might not just get no unemployment. You might not get no unemployment. I'm just telling you. Shout out to Shadow Dragon, says, salute, brother. Just some support. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Shadow Dragon. TV, long-time supporter, always holding me down. Very much appreciated. But I'm very much thrown off by this thought and notion that you can just quit your job and not give a 2 weeks notice because they can. Most of the people that say this, by the way, have never been fired. I want you guys to know that. They are just internet, Instagram, TikTok gurus that tell you it's mindset. It shifts your mind. And, I just thought one day they could fire me at any time. So I just quit and I didn't give them no 2 weeks notice and I felt better. Y'all be careful listening to these people. Most of these people don't really help other people in life. Regardless of what y'all feel about jobs, go by what y'all think. They are a means to an end, or they're an access to an entry point, meaning you can use your job to generate revenue in order to help provide for some of your lifestyle, not all of it. I don't believe that is a job's requirement to pay you a livable wage. I believe that's your requirement to find a way to live amongst the world, not get a job to pay you for your lifestyle. That's my personal opinion. You guys do what you want. See which one works better. But it probably ain't going to happen. It probably ain't going to happen. Trigger Mike's in the building. He says, Aaron is working. I see some gray hairs. You're going to see a lot of them. And if I do any more Fight Club shows, they're going to be growing in the middle of the show. Now, Trigger Mike, you my brother, but let's be honest. You the oldest young dude in this space. Let's be honest. You the oldest young dude in this space. Nobody is older and younger at the same time than you. You him. I ain't gonna take that away from you, him. But just remember, you the oldest young dude in this space. And you use the Rogaine too, and you dye all your gray hair. See me, I like the wolf gray. I'm probably gonna dye everything gray real soon. I'm in a rush to get old. Because I don't want to die young. I'm in a rush to get old because I'm afraid to die young. But that's just my honest opinion. When it comes to this 2 weeks notice thing, guys, put your 2 weeks notice in. Don't let a bad company or a bad business dictate your personal and business-like principles. I don't care if I work for a horrible company. I will always give my 2 weeks. Even if I hate the job, I will always give my 2 weeks. Because consistency with your principles should not be altered based upon 1 or 2 experiences with somebody else. This is how it transitions to relationships. Oh, I dated 2 guys and they was both broke. And so now I don't want to take care of a man. And these men need to come correct. You see how it goes? What up, fatty? You see how it goes, right? You think, shout out to Team Fatty. You think because your experiences with those 2 people should dictate what your new experiences should be with your new boss or with your new partner. That is what is destroying a lot of things. You have to be very, very careful that you don't let that seep into your mind. I take me with me everywhere, so I'm consistent. I'm very, very consistent. I deal with people, and I don't bring baggage from previous relationships and say, oh, this one girl did this to me, so now I hold you accountable. You guys have to be self-aware that you guys do these things, and it's the same thing in business. If you worked at a bad company, leave that there. Give the next company a chance. That doesn't mean you don't learn, doesn't mean you don't adjust, but you got to leave that there because it will destroy your principles. And that's the one thing that, like, y'all know how people say, all I got is my word and my balls and all that kind of stuff. In business, your character, your principle speaks volumes. Now, obviously, some of you don't believe that, but you'll see over time after working 30, 40 years and whatnot, just how important and how much of a image that you leave on people. So that's my 2 cents on 2 weeks notices. If y'all asking me, please give a 2 weeks notice, even if you hate the company. Even if you hate the company. It's just the case. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to always be able to stay the 2 weeks, right? Because if you get an opportunity, let's be clear, because I don't want you guys to confuse the two. Give a 2 weeks notice. Explain to them, I have a job offer and they need me to start either immediately or within, because you might start the very next week. You might only can give them a week notice. That's fine. That's fine. It is what it is. But you should always try to go for it. Try to give notice. It's a really, really good thing. Just showing up one day saying I quit, walking out because you got another job, I really, really recommend against that. I really, really do. But most people are going to do what they think is best. Now, let me get into this thing called, where is it at here? Before we get into that, I just want to talk about this quick video real quick. Foodies. I saw this video and I just want to discuss with y'all. Y'all always want to know. Shout out to Gabe. He says, nah, forget these companies. Milk them for whatever they got. Treat them as they would treat you. Value your own priorities over there. That's a bad idea, Gabe. It's a bad idea. That's a very, very bad idea. But you know what? People going to try that, and we'll see how it works. I think that's a bad idea. Gabe, who's a highly skilled individual, believes it's a good idea. But I disagree. Don't. Unless you can create your own enterprise, you better be careful. Because it's a small world. And a lot of people know a lot. It's like lawyers. The prosecutor knows exactly how. So the prosecutors know the defendant, like the defense attorneys, they all went to school together. They know each other. What's going on, Venus? They know each other. Now, I'm just telling you, word of mouth gets here, there. And look, they're going to speak. People do research on your experience. Now, the smart recruiters, the smart people that know how to read the in-between messages, right? Because They will give you a bad rep, but they only can say certain. In California, you're very well protected, by the way. In California, the worker rights are beyond amazing. What's going on, Miss Mother? Like, the working rights are beyond amazing. Like, the workers have the best rights in California. I don't care where y'all stay at, what state, your city y'all in. In California, y'all got the most protection. Y'all got the most love and support anywhere else. But I'm gonna just tell y'all, managers know how to say, we let you go, we fired you, without saying it and breaking laws. They know how to talk around it. And the smart ones know how to pick up and read on it. So go ahead and try these things if you want. But listen, now if you're going to get a job at a coffee shop, they're not gonna call your references. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. They're not really gonna call no references for a coffee job. Not that I'm knocking it. Lord knows I ain't in no position. 22K a year. I ain't talking bad on nobody that make 40, 50,000 ever. But you better be careful. You better be careful. And listen, Gabe want to stand for that. Let Gabe give y'all a job then. Since he wants y'all to do all this bad stuff, let Gabe give y'all a job. If he want to put y'all at risk, he best give y'all a job. And if not, as a matter of fact, just because I don't like the fact that Gabe said that, moderators, please put Gabe in timeout consecutively for confusing the people in the chat. I just thought about it. I can't be having him confusing the people in the chat. No. Sorry, Gabe. Not gonna let you confuse the people. Now unless you're giving out jobs, I can't allow you to do such a thing. Now, I just want to talk about this video real quick because a lot of times we get questions about foodies, right? Who's a foodie? I'm not a foodie because for many reasons, right? Because one, food is very dangerous. Food is very dangerous, and a lot of y'all don't drink enough water, right? But I saw this. Look at this video.
Cheers to my friend Nadia. Wow. To a good time in Bogota. Here we go. Cheers to my friend Nadia. Wow. To a good time in Bogota. Here we go. Cheers to my friend Nadia. Wow. To a good time in Bogota.
Now, somebody do the math for me. Oh, that's them. You can tell that's them. Well, the guy you can tell much easier, but the woman is harder to tell. Yes, that's them. That's them, Kiana. That's them. Yeah, that's them. Terrifying to me. Terrifying to me. Yeah, 5 years. Yeah, what 5 years will do to you. Don't worry. I won't put you through much more torturing than that. Terrifying. Y'all got to be careful what y'all put in y'all bodies. I know all this in moderation, right? I'm going to go to Japan, eat all their food. Then I'm going to go to South Korea, eat all their food. I'm going to go to McDonald's, but I'm going to diversify that with some Burger King. And then I'm not going to go back to Burger King. I'm going to diversify that with some Taco Bell. Oh, I had Taco Bell last week. Let me go to Chick-fil-A. Y'all think this is a level of diversification because you go to a different restaurant with a different name. I hate to tell y'all better be careful of this food that y'all eating. Y'all better be careful of the food that y'all eating, okay? Oh, that's scary. Man, oh man. Listen, see? Y'all thought terrifying, y'all. Terrifying. Yes, it's terrifying. I saw that, and I wouldn't say I almost puked, but I will say this. Can't be me. Listen, y'all, can never be me. I would never. So, any of y'all asking me what's my favorite food, I'm not telling y'all. Because I'm afraid y'all trying to get me to glow up like that. Yes, Kazi, that is exactly what being a foodie is. They eat whatever they want and love life. And they take pictures. And they eat blue spaghetti or whatever that was. They eat blue spaghetti or whatever that was. Now, y'all remember we had this conversation, right? About the 3-date rule, right? And my good sister, Brittany B, who gets mad at me about it, and not necessarily me, but just a talking point about it. Because I say after 3 dates, I mean, listen, after 3 days, it should be, in my opinion, especially if you ain't a virgin. I mean, hey, it is what it is. 3 dates, you say, yeah, but y'all both adults, right? I believe in the 3-date rule. It shouldn't be one-sided. The woman can have their 3-date requirements, but I believe in a 3-date rule. That's just me. Now, I'm not the only one that believes in the 3-date rule. Other people believe in 3-date rules too. I am not the only one. So, let me tell you how it goes when it comes to dealing with the 3-date rule. Sherelle says, what's the 3-date rule? You know what the 3-date rule is, Sherelle, all right? After 3 dates, I don't want to hear this, oh, well, I'm still nervous. No. Y'all adults, right? Act like adults and do what adults do. If not, leave the man alone. If y'all don't want to mess with a man after 3 dates, cool. Wash your hands. I'm not mad at them at all. What you mean I don't believe in it? You out your mind, Sherelle. I absolutely believe in the 3-day rule. I'm fine when women smash on the first night if they want to do it. But after 3 dates, yeah, or leave that man alone and stop wasting his resources. That's right. Yeah, move on your time. All right, then see through you. You keep to look, move on your time, fine. But once again, if you don't care, ain't no man going on a date that he don't want to sleep with you. I know y'all think that guys are just like, oh, let's just hang out. Guys go on dates with women that they want to sleep with. Point blank, period. It's not up for discussion. This is what they do, right? Now, if you want to listen, this is only if you think you should move on your own time and not care or be valued about what men care about, then he should play you. He should play you out, do whatever you want, smash you and leave you. Now, that is only for those women who don't care about what men care about and what they would like. Now, if you do and you say, yeah, it's been 3 days, I don't know, fine. But just thinking you're going to do what you want on your own terms, you open the door to play games. You ain't no virgin. You've been smashing. I don't want to hear. Now, if you're a virgin, I've been very particular on this. You should dictate your terms. If you're a virgin, you ain't never slept with nobody, I ain't mad at you. Oh, no, I'm a virgin. I don't do that. Respect. You don't do that. But that's my humble opinion. Now, over here, I'm not the only one, but let me tell you how they do it in Japan.
What's your name?
I'm Miyu.
You fully Japanese?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, nice. Let's begin with the question. How do Japanese people date? How does it usually go?
The man will ask, are we gonna date?
Mhm.
And in 3 times date, they didn't confess.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't dating.
So you mean the man's gonna ask you out and you're gonna go out 3 times.
3 times.
And when he doesn't ask you to be his girlfriend, you stop dating.
So, yeah, stop dating.
Really?
Yeah.
So after 3 dates, you have to be in a relationship. It's like that?
It's like that.
What's your
It's like that. It's like that. Y'all never seen it? Oh, we together now. After 3 days, we together now. So, hey, it is what it is. That's how they do it. After 3 days, you're either together or you're not. Now, I believe, and remember, y'all love Japanese culture, right? Y'all love the old respectful, kind, all that good stuff. I'm just saying. I'm just telling y'all, see, because y'all got to research this stuff. I've been knowing about this, by the way. I don't just be talking. I do research because I know y'all don't really understand that. Well, we don't know what Black culture is, right? Because we've been hearing the Black culture is this, that. But we really don't know what Black culture is. I agree. And that's for a deeper conversation. Actually, you know what? I want to debunk that real quick. Because I want to talk about Chrisean next, because this is the real thing that I really want to discuss, because this don't have to be a long live. But there is one thing I saw that I want to discuss briefly. But first, I want to say, ladies, 3-date rule, get that man what he want or leave him alone. And if after 3 dates, y'all say, no, it's not popping, leave. I'm not mad at y'all. Y'all got y'all 3 dates. Y'all got y'all free food. Y'all got y'all conversation. Y'all got y'all male attention. Y'all got what y'all desire to figure out if he is what you would want or whatever the case is, because it takes years to know if you guys really like somebody or who they really are, whatever. But after 3 days, leave that man and his money alone. Leave him alone. That's all. Leave him alone. No sugar bum. 3 days. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Because if I ask you when, you know what you're gonna say, sugar bum? You're gonna say when I'm comfortable, when I feel like it. Everything can't be dictated just about what you want. Because otherwise, you're going to put people in a position to pretend and give you what you want until they get what they want and dip. So you consider it crazy, but you only give me the compromise then. Since y'all think it's crazy, right? What's the compromise? Because the answer, I'm just telling y'all, ain't going to be it's his body too, sugar bum. And I love you, sugar bum. You know that. But you have to understand. What's the compromise? Whenever you feel like it, whenever you're ready, is that the answer for everything? Because if that's the case, you're going to open the door up for a man to play you. Because he going to play the game. Oh, she want to play with me? Y'all know women tell this story every single time. You know, like I thought it was cool. He wasn't pressuring me after 2 months or whatever the case is. Aaron, who is that? Ashley. Aaron, would you leave after 3 dates? Yeah, I don't have no problem with that. What you mean like after 3 dates, she's not serious, she don't want to be an adult or whatever the case is? Because honestly, I don't think you should have no rules in place for me, right? You can with other men, but my personal opinion, I don't want no rules in place at all. Like the same way Chris Brown or Drake can walk in and smash you and you want to go to them and smash them, but you want to be respected and treated differently than random women. Most men know that you don't have no rules for certain guys. Rules for you and no rules for them. That's a real thing. Y'all, because y'all character is flaky anyway. It depends, because y'all say it all the time. It depends, which means it's inconsistent and it's arbitrary, right? So we know that. So if you don't have rules for some people, but you put rules on this person, it causes problems. Now, I'm willing to always have a conversation, fine, whatever the case is, but I'm not letting you hold nothing over my head. No. And so, like I said, and no, Dollar Wash, I'm not a red pill person. Nah, I'm just being honest. Just being honest. Women really do believe that it's whatever that they want. And all I'm saying is play that game where it don't matter what the man want and see how that plays out. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Y'all play that game out. In Japan, they have a straight out rule. 3 dates and we together. If not, we done. That's all the man is asking for. Be clear. After 10 dates, then it's getting popping. All right, bet, cool. At least I know now. Now we got something we can work with. Not just whenever I feel like it or whenever I'm comfortable, because we don't know what that means. And everything can't just be about what you want. And if you think it is, the last time I'm going to say it, you're going to learn a harsh lesson of life. You're going to learn a harsh lesson of life. That's all I'm going to just tell you. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm lying, you're going to find out the truth. Now, here's this lady. I got to talk about this lady right here, guys. Please listen to this point because this is a very important point. GVG, I'm not insulted by being a red pill guy, by the way. I just don't think I'm red pill, but I'm not insulted by it either. People going to characterize things however they decide. But I just want to briefly discuss what this young lady says right here. And then I'm going to get into the thing that's really irking my soul. All right? Listen up.
Black people are the only people that talk about money in relationships.
It's crazy.
Because other cultures just know the man is going to be the caretaker or the provider. Like other cultures just know that. But when I say it, niggas in the comments like, what the fuck, this lazy bitch, what's she talking about? Every other culture understands the man is the provider and the woman is a nurturer. That's not even a conversation that they have because they already know it. They grow up knowing that. Yeah. Black people are the only people that see our moms do more than our dads. And so we have a reverse thinking about it. We think, oh, well, my mom did it, so I could do it. Or my mom did it, so she can do it. That's why so many Black women are unmarried, because we don't have roles. Gender roles are not a bad thing in marriage. Everyone needs to have their, if I don't know my role, how do I know what part I'm playing in anything?
Sure.
When you're on a basketball team, everybody has their position, everybody has their role. You need to know what your role is. And a woman's role is the nurturer. And if you have kids, the caregiver, and the man's role is the provider, and he brings in the money. He brings in the money and the woman manages it. And that's how the household's supposed to run.
The lack of tradition in Black culture is killing relationships. That's the main thing, right?
Black people are the only people.
Now, guys, I'm going to play that one more time so that you can hear what she said clearly. And then I'm going to respond. Play it one more time.
People that talk about money in relationships.
It's crazy.
Because other cultures just know the man is going to be the caretaker or the provider. Like, other cultures just know that. But when I say it, niggas in the comments like, what the fuck, this lazy bitch, what's she talking about?
So
every other culture understands the man is the provider and the woman is a nurturer. That's not even a conversation that they have because they already know it. They grow up knowing that. Yeah. Black people are the only people that see our moms do more than our dads. And so we have a reverse thinking about it. We think, oh, well, my mom did it, so I could do it. Or my mom did it, so she can do it. That's why so many Black women are unmarried, because we don't have roles. Gender roles are not a bad thing in marriage. Everyone needs to have their, if I don't know my role, how do I know what part I'm playing in anything? Sure. When you're on a basketball team, everybody has their position. Everybody has their role. You need to know what your role is. And a woman's role is the nurturer. And if you have kids, the caregiver, and the man's role is the provider, and he brings in the money. He brings in the money and the woman manages it. And that's how the household's supposed to run.
How many of you agree with that? Just in the chat, if you agree with what the woman said, just put a 1 in the chat. If you disagree, put a 2 in the chat. I'm interested in knowing. Somebody said play it one more time. Is that all right? Oh, that's my guy. I will play it one more time. Absolutely. That's my guy right there. I have to play it. I'll play it one more time. Absolutely. Why not?
Black people are the only people that talk about money in relationships.
It's crazy.
Because other cultures just know the man is going to be the caretaker or the provider. Like, other cultures just know that. But when I say it, niggas in the comments like, what the fuck, this lazy bitch, what's she talking about?
So
every other culture understands the man is the provider and the woman is a nurturer. That's not even a conversation that they have because they already know it. They grow up knowing that. Yeah. Black people are the only people that see our moms do more than our dads. And so we have a reverse thinking about it. We think, oh, well, my mom did it, so I could do it. Or my mom did it, so she can do it. That's why so many Black women are unmarried, because we don't have roles. Gender roles are not a bad thing in marriage. Everyone needs to have their, if I don't know my role, how do I know what part I'm playing in anything? Sure. When you're on a basketball team, everybody has their position. Everybody has their role. You need to know what your role is. And a woman's role is the nurturer. And if you have kids, the caregiver, and the man's role is the provider, and he brings in the money. He brings in the money and the woman manages it. And that's how the household's supposed to run.
Now, let's discuss. Whoo, this is about to get real. And I'm going to say this as succinctly as I absolutely can, so you guys can understand, right? Because some of you said some of the things that she said is true, right? She said only Black people have this problem, like it's a cultural thing, right? She's 100% wrong. And I'm going to tell you why she's wrong. Because I know you guys know she's wrong, but let me tell you why she's wrong. And this is very, very important, because she conflates some points with roles, but provider, this, that. Let me tell you why she's 100% wrong with all of the information she provided together, right? Single things here and there, fine. We need roles. That's fine, right? This is the problem where she's wrong at. And you guys tell me what you think. I'm going to talk about a Black man because I'm a Black man. But where I work at, I'm probably the only Black guy in this particular area, right? Yeah, but that doesn't matter, right? If a Black man has a job, right? And this is why it gets really, really lost. And I want you guys to truly understand why she's so far off right here. If I have a job, right, and I'm getting paid the same amount of money as the guy next to me, that's an Asian man and a white man, right? We both make the same amount of money. He has a girlfriend and a kid. I have a girlfriend and a kid. And this guy has a girlfriend and a kid. We all make the same amount of money. How are they the providers any more differently than I would be a provider? We both make the same amount of money. They don't have more money than me. We make the same amount of money. You know what the problem then comes into lie? Two things. One, you're just wrong. And secondly, it would rely on this. What is the lifestyle of my coworkers and their wives or their girlfriends? Are you telling me that black women that have a black man getting paid the same amount of money as an Asian man, a white man, and a Hispanic man doing the same job, are you telling me that those wives are living like within their husband's budgets? Or Jessamy says that's not what she's saying. They know their positions in the home. No. Actually, that's what she said. She said men are the providers. So let me be clear, because we know with women, when y'all talking, y'all saying that black men are broke. We've had these conversations all the time. I played it 3 times because, like I said, she said some things that were true, but she conflated a whole bunch of different things. This is the part you need to understand. I have the same amount of money as the men I'm working with. They're of all different races. So how are they the providers in their family and I'm not the provider in my family if we all making the same amount of money? Only 2 things can exist. One, either those women are working as well and providing their money, or those women don't work and they live amongst that man's means. So that would mean that any man that you have that has a job and has another man of any other culture and they have a family or a girl, because they all providers, like they said, all the other cultures and understand their position, their roles, and those men are the providers. If I'm working with anybody and they have families and we make the same amount of money, how can I not be that? How can I not be that? It's such a simple thing to understand. And this is the problem with some women. When you're upset with the type of men that you get, and you're upset because you can't get a man that has vision, that can provide you structure, because you don't attract those type of men because something's wrong with you. I know you guys don't like that, but you attract the issues that you are. And I know you're hoping for a savior, but most people are not saviors, okay? Oh, this girl's crazy. Jessamy says, because y'all have the money and still want to go 50-50. Other cultures don't want to do that. Jessamy, that's a lie. You're a liar. Any man that can afford to provide for his family, he does it. Most men cannot afford it. And now listen to what you're saying. You're saying that now men got the money, they just don't want to use that money to provide for their family. Sounds insane to me. Sounds insane to me. But if that's what the narrative you want to push about men, black men in particular, that they have the money, they just don't want to provide for their family, they want to go 50-50. I haven't heard that one yet. I've heard that they broke and they can't afford to take care of their family. Now you're giving me new information, but I'm going to stick by what this woman said in the video. We make the same amount of money. There's absolutely no way those men are providers if I'm not. It just don't exist. And what you conflating is this. There is classism in every group. Rich Asians, broke Asians, rich white men, broke white men, rich Hispanics, broke Hispanics. Classism exists in every single group. There are black men that provide, and there are some that don't. There are white men that provide, and there are some that don't in every single group. Do never conflate the confusing thought that the culture is the issue, because culture can be an issue, but it has nothing to do with this particular problem. There's nothing to do with that particular problem. It's not about that. Your issue, in my estimation, is that the type of men that you attract, that's the problem. And I know that y'all don't want to take responsibility for the type of men that you attract, but if I can find one woman in the chat right now, I don't know, I'll just throw a random name, see through you, right? And she says, my husband provides and he's a black man. I've already debunked your point. We got one there, so she can find one. How come she can get one and you can't? That's a you problem. She solved her issue. You can't solve your issue. Once again, blame yourself and don't blame nobody else. Accountability is the biggest blessing in life because accountability is empowering. And this is why I keep trying to tell women, nothing is less attractive than a woman that has no accountability. Because accountability is empowerment. It's empowerment. Once y'all learn that, you'll get different experiences in life. But as long as you're willing to blame somebody else, you're going to get the same outcomes in life. So please stop running around with this narrative that black guys, they don't understand that they providers. No, men that can't provide, they don't have the means to do it. They ain't running around with all this money and be like, yeah, go 50-50. They don't have it. Most guys that I know that's really getting money, I don't see them say, hey, wife, I need you to go 50-50. And she looking at him like, but I know you getting money. So those are not the guys we're talking about. Because the guys that we talking about when y'all talk about these men, that's not their experience. And you guys know that. These guys is telling other guys, man, y'all even shouldn't be dating. Y'all shouldn't even be dating no women if y'all can't afford it. That's what they telling. That's what they're literally telling these guys that they can't afford it because they can, that they shouldn't date. So I just want you guys to understand she is confused and she conflates many different points. And I just want you guys to be able to use this moment to debunk whenever you having these conversations with women, they're talking about these men know they providers. Who? Patrick? I work with Patrick. We make the same amount of money. I make a little bit more than him. He got a wife and a kid. So what is he doing so amazing? Or what is his wife not doing that they can live amongst his means if he's a provider? Because every other group is a provider, but black people is what she said. People like that irks my soul. Irks my soul because it's so wrong. So wrong, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Nothing you can do about it. Now, real quick, because I want to get in Chrisean. I'm getting right after this. My guy, Kanye West. I want to say I'm very, very hurt. I don't know if Kanye West should be banned for life because of him enjoying his life on a boat rental. Just me. Just me. I'm gonna have to time you out soon because you messing with me right now. You said, Aaron, didn't you want your wife to work and you stay at home? I'm one person. I can find one of my friends. What is she? Vietnamese? Maybe Vietnamese, right? Her dad stays at home. So I can find an Asian man that wants to stay at home. I can find a white man that wants to stay at home. I can find I can find one man in every group that want to stay at home. I'm one black man. I'm one black man. Do not use me, because black people have this problem, that one black person is all black people. We're not a monolith. I'm one black person that want to stay at home and be catered to. But don't use me as the example. Don't use me as the example. And these chicks ain't looking for me anyway. So I gotta date up women that's 70 years old so I can be a stay-at-home person, you know. So I know my limits. I know my limits, but reasonably so. Honestly, you know what's going on. Like, let's just be honest. Most guys are not doing it. Now, if you can't attract the guys, I guess the best thing to say is if you see a guy that has a job, go find a black guy that worked there with him. If you really want a black guy and you see this guy is providing for his family, go to where he works at, look around, say, oh, there's a black guy there. Unless your argument is all the black men that can provide are taken, which I'll accept. If that's your argument, I will accept that. I will accept it if that's your argument. But I just want to say briefly, Kanye West, brother, they shouldn't do you like that, bro. Because listen, if you go on vacation, you should, if you go to Paris or London or let's just say Greece or, you know, Tulum, somewhere in Mexico. Yeah, that's gray in my beard, Sherelle. I got gray going. Yeah. You should submit that experience with a pleasurable moment if you want to. So you can say, yo, you remember that time we was in the Bahamas? And she'd be like, yeah, it went down. You'd be like, yeah, because then that's how you create a memory. That's how you create a memory. Nothing wrong with that. They hating on your boy Kanye West. Okay, he wanted to create a memory of fun with his wife, and they hating on the kid. And I'm very, very upset about that. But right now, it's an attack on Kanye, and I understand. But at the end of the day, you should be able to create experiences of fun when you go on vacation. Because otherwise, what you going on vacation for? Okay. Now, that's just my humble opinion. This is my humble opinion. I think that Kanye West should be unbanned. I think Kanye West should be unbanned. That's just the case. Somebody sent me a cash app. They said Sugar Bum is abusing her wrench. Sugar Bum. Now you be nice now. I don't know who you beefing with, but be nice. Okay, so that's just my thing. I shout out to Ye, but if I go on vacation, I want to have a good time.
Come, baby.
Now, let's talk about what I really want to talk about. This is what I really, really want to talk about because I need y'all insight and thoughts about this because this is my mind is running around, right? Y'all familiar with Chrisean Rock, right? She gives birth, according on IG.
Push, baby. Push hard. You got it, Sean. You got it, Sean. He's coming. Hallelujah. Oh, glory to God. Glory to God. Push, baby. Push, baby. Get him out there. He out. His head out. He out. Thank you, Jesus. He out. Oh, glory to God. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Now, it's crazy. That's crazy as that is. But I just have to say that she is on IG Live. Let me tell you guys something. 311,000 people watch her give birth or was in that room watching. 300. I'm just being honest with you. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of people. Let me see here. Oh, they sent me a cash app. They said Sugar Bum wrench is gone. Sugar Bum, stop abusing your wrench. Otherwise, they're gonna take it. It just is what it is. You guys got to chill, man. You guys got to chill. Okay, so I can't believe 311,000 people watched that birth. Let me holler at Grizz. Grizz says, nah, Aaron, I need to see the Asian version of this. I'm looking for it. You know me, I'm always looking for videos and things like that to give the proper comparison since it's always black people, because we know that's not the case. But go ahead and beat up on a black man. There's an attack on black men, okay? Y'all might not realize it, but it exists. There's an attack on men in general, but I'm a black man, and I fight all battles for all men, but I'm definitely going to fight battles for black men when I can. Young Jay says, look at Latin people. The men will work and their women will work just as hard as them, just as hard as their men right there beside them. Latin men make less money than black men in this country. Latin men get 100% of cooperation. Now, Young Jay, you know me, I'm a fair person. Hispanic women is spicy. They spicy because they got a mouth on them. But they are raised to be wives in general. They are raised to be wives. They're raised to cook for their brothers. They're raised to do things as grown up as a family thing. So they are raised differently. But 100% cooperation, I can't say that. But they are raised to be wives. They do cater. They do know their roles. And they do let a man be a man. They don't often try to demasculate that. Like, they don't try to destroy that part of being a man. So that's true. However, I have to tell you, They also don't have no weight limits. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to get in trouble. They ain't got no weight limits. Those women blow up 300 pounds, 350 pounds. And they like lift it up and get to rocking. Drink a Corona, drink a beer, and get to working. I can't do that. I cannot do that. So I'm just saying my experience with Latina women is they got a little mouth on them, but at the same time, they understand their roles. They are raised more to be wives. They are very much family oriented. They do cater to their man, even if they're angry about it. But they got mouths on them. Not all, but they got mouths on them. So I can't, but I understand where you're going with that, and I get you, but I got to be fair. They got a little bit of mouths on them, but they are raised more to be wives or what the role traditionally is. Because when you talk to them, their mothers call them fat. Their mothers tell them they need to lose weight. Their mothers are very harsh on them. Their mothers tell them you need to get you a husband where your man at. I showed you the video where the lady was asking her husband to help clean, and a Latina mom looked at her like, no, that's not his job. I don't know if I still have that video because I've been trying to lower my my archive because I got so many videos on backstop and things like that. So I don't know if I have that video, but yeah, I have a really, really dope video of a mom that I will probably play on a different show because I think it's really dope, but it's not catered to the conversation we're having particularly right now. And I don't think I don't have that video queued up here right now. Yeah, I don't have it queued up. But yeah, I absolutely have the video where that woman's like, no, he don't clean nothing. He don't clean absolutely nothing. So I'm just being honest. So it's a little bit different. A shout out to Arnold. Arnold says if they just wanted a provider, they could just find a dude who already lives on his own and go live with him. Problem solved. But they want a lifestyle that requires them to work. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Just based upon what they're saying. Just solely based upon what they're saying. These other men of other groups provide. That's a lie. That's a lie. If we both got the same job, they ain't providing nothing. They doing the same thing we doing. So there's a level of disagreement there. There's a level of disagreement there. Let me just get into this Chrisean thing, and I'll bring my guest up in just a moment. But I just want to say this Chrisean thing is working me right now. It's really, really working me right now because I'm trying not to say something bad, but she had birth in front of 311,000 people watching her show. 311,000 people. All right. Now, you guys might not think that's a lot, but I hate to tell you, that's a lot of people. 311,000. Man, if I get 311,000 people, it's going down. Yeah, but let me tell y'all what my problem is, right? And y'all help me. Y'all help me here because it could go down and I don't want to get in trouble. But let me tell you what the problem that I'm having. And I'm going to need some water for this one. This is the problem that I'm having. She named the kid after herself. I want to know from y'all, because me personally, I think this is my opinion. I think a man should name the child. And it's for many reasons why I think a man should name a child. I don't know what Jasmine is talking about right now, but I'm gonna let you slide, Jasmine, because you're starting to drive me crazy. Ray Midnight in the building. But I think a man should name the child. That's my opinion. And it's for many, many different reasons, right? We talk a lot about connection. Right? Part of a connection is a man being able to raise a child because women have so much control over other things. Shout out Miss Doris says, I'm coming through with the water. Gang. Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Doris. I appreciate you. But I'm struggling with this because I believe the man should name the child. It for many, many reasons. That's one. And the second thing that I'm frustrated with is the fact that she did not allow him to be there at the birth of his child, their child, even though she says her child, right? And it's irking my blood a little bit. And I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm genuinely trying to make it make sense because I'm being frustrated with a lot of things, because I know that what y'all argument is going to be, but the frustration part comes is when we talk about connecting with children and being there for moments and things like that, they make it seem like men don't care. Men don't need those moments. But you taking something away from somebody is, to me, problematic. So I'm going to present to you guys, if a woman denies you the ability to name your child, denies you the ability to see the birth of your child, at what point do a man say, I don't want to have nothing to do with this child, is reasonable? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I can't name my child. I can't be at the birth of the child that we made together. But you want me to be involved. You want me to be dedicated. You want me to be devoted. Now, building a bond for children is much more difficult for a man to do, because we have to put in an excessive amount of different type of work because we didn't birth it, right? All these different things. So when you take away those experiences that mean something to men, even though you guys don't think men need or mean anything, I think it's problematic. So I'm challenged with trying not to go nuclear with men should stop should stop taking care of kids at all. If they're going to extend this level of authority over children and exclude the authority that men have, it's problematic. And I know, and I'm trying not to go that far, but seeing things like this really frustrates me. So let me see. I think I got another video. Go ahead, Omni, if you have a thought. I think I have another video I'm looking for.
First of all, salute Aaron, and salute to Kanye rocking the Shure SM7B. You know what I'm saying? That's a dope mic. That's a dope mic right there. Listen, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Ladies, it doesn't even seem like y'all want us in your child's life. Reason why I say that is we got this situation, the birth without the father. We got another perfect example. There are far more maternity shoots than there are family photos nowadays. Far more maternity shoots than family photos. And most of the maternity shoots don't even have the men present in them. We champion single motherhood. Why is, a matter of fact, on Father's Day, females be celebrating mothers being single mothers on Father's Day? So when is the bullshit gonna stop? When is the bullshit gonna stop? You don't need no man, but all of a sudden when the kid gets on your nerves, that's when you need a man. It's only when you don't like your child. It's only when you don't like being around your child, or it's fucking up the other dick that you're trying to get. You know what I'm saying? That's when. Nah.
No. Honestly, I want to stay there on those 2 points. So about a father being denied the ability to be at the birth of his child, and not being able to determine the child's name. Those things are very important things to me.
Yeah, it's important to me too. It's important to me too. Yeah, as a man.
I don't know how to balance this out, because it's frustrating, because I think that, men take care of your responsibilities fine, but At some point, there has to be a level of respect on a father. Because if you keep downplaying the respect and value that they have, and you want them to care about something in which they like have limited authority and rights over and all these different things, men are going to have difficulty for that. It's like, yo, just give me the baby, come through when I say come through, give me some money when I ask to come through, but I got all the power and control. It's problematic.
Akene.
When I say it's a man's fault.
There you go.
You know why I said it's a man's fault? It's not a shit against men. You have to establish the rules when you get married or when you're dating a girl. You set the rules. And the rules is this. When you get a girl pregnant, once she starts respecting you from the moment you start talking to her, she's going to respect you throughout.
Factual.
A woman does not name a child, be it a boy or a girl. No. The naming comes from the father. We don't give birth. We impregnate and we name. That's the two things that God gave to us. She gave birth and she nurtures. Because the reason why a man names his child throughout history, even in my culture, is because that symbolizes that that child is yours. Because if she names your child, by culture is a doubt, is a paternity fraud for a woman to name a child. Once that child is born, even look at the Bible. I'm not a Christian, but look at the Bible. The child is given to the father, and then the father is asked, what is the name of the child? The father names the child. That is a respect for the man. It's not even something you're going to doubt. My wife came to me and asked me, for a son, what is the name? I gave her the name. She said, but she's going to name the girl. I said, hell to the no. You're not naming my children. I'm the one that named the child. We started arguing over names. I accept some of the names, and I was firm on the names. So for the girl, we compromised and said, okay, it's going to be these names, but the names that I want must be there. We take whatever name she was and add it to it. But those names that I want has to be there. Because guess what? I'm the father. If you don't take what I say, then we got a problem. So when you start compromising your manhood, you're going to keep compromising your manhood.
Factual.
You don't compromise your manhood because
crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. They don't like it. They don't like logic and reason. Listen, Aaron, on the naming, think about the thought process that goes behind when a woman picks the name. It's usually a mix-up between some relatives, not necessarily the father's name or the mother's name. They usually mix it up between several people that they feel some type of way about. You know what I'm saying? They mix it up, so then the baby ends up with like 75 different names. Like, you know what I'm saying, in the middle name. It would be like, where do we get these Demetriuses, these Jamarcuses? It used to be Marcus, but for some reason we had to put the J on the front of it. You know what I'm saying? And nothing against my brother's name, Jamarcus, but I'm just saying they be mixing up the names. They be coming up with their own goofy formula on how to make these names. You know what I'm saying? Like, call him David. What happened to David? David used to be a good name. Now we got to mix it up between Gladys, Lewis, Reginald, whoever else in the family you like. I shit you not. When I was becoming the guardian for when I was becoming the guardian of my mother, you know what I'm saying? We had to do it by court, and there was like several things. There was like several sequences here in family court to deal with. So you got to hear some of the names that happened in family court.
Well, I don't care.
One child's name was called I don't even want.
Well, I don't really care about the names. I'm more focused on she named the child after her.
Bruh.
She named
the child after her?
And it's very
Chrisean.
Yeah, she named the child after her. Now, do you not understand the level of power that women already have from the jump? So to me, the smartest listen. Matter of fact, let me just play the video so you can get some understanding here. This is what she said. Pay attention.
Bro, he's mad about me signing. He's mad about me moving in my own house. He's mad about me getting my own car. He's mad that I want to do it on my own. He keeps saying, why? Because when I had you do it for me, right? You was using my money to take care of me. And then while you're taking care of me, it was with envy. It wasn't with love. What are you talking about? This one out.
She gonna be broke.
Nobody used no baby against him. You know he can't see his kid. But I'm setting boundaries. No. You cannot be there when I'm pushing the baby out. Sorry. That shit is that shit is intentional. That shit is intense. I need love, real love. I don't need a nigga ready to whip a camera out because his career is dying. Like, I just need real love. I'm setting boundaries. Of course, you can see your kid. Of course, whatever. I don't need no child support. I don't need no support from you. I don't want nobody. What the hell? I gotta break free from this little soul tie we got going on because you think this back and forth shit is cool. So I'm really feeding my ops right now.
That's crazy.
Did you listen to what she said? This is very important. She said, 1, I don't need nothing from you. I don't need no support, no nothing. You ain't gotta do nothing. I don't want you at the birth. And I don't want you there because you will pull out a camera because your career is dying while her birth is literally on live.
Right. She don't need anything now that she's on, but who was the one that established her career in the first place?
That's not the point that I focus on. Because
I get you, but
because I believe in it. I hear people saying they may hold. Okay, so make another one. So I believe in that. She still is who she is. He might have gave her exposure, fine. But if he can do it again, go ahead and do it again. Because unless you can prove you can do it again, I don't like that argument too much. I respect people's thoughts, but she is who she is. She has the personality. She's gravitated to people. So fine, I don't care. The problem is she on live herself. She got somebody in there that's putting her child on live with 311,000 people watching.
Mm-hmm.
And the father is not there. Now, I'm just wondering, I don't want you there. You cannot be there. Now, that's problematic to me.
But the world can.
But well, here's the thing. I want to know, right? Because I'm very principled, right? So I'm just curious. If a woman thinks she has the right to tell me I can't be at a child's birth, then I don't want nothing to do with the child. If I missed the child's birth on my end, let it be my failure. But you definitely not about to tell me I can't be at my child's birth because that's problematic. I don't want nothing to do with the child then. If you think you can turn on and off when my emotions get to be tied or involved or what I care about get to mean to care, if you think you can go back and forth and determine what's important to me and what not, just because you the mother, to me, it's a problematic situation.
I'm fucking, if that was me in my situation, I would fuck up all of the hospital staff that's trying to keep me out of the delivery room. This is insane. This is absolutely, and at the end of the video, she calling the father of the child, the man that impregnated her, the op.
So the problem with that is, right, I cannot go to a hospital staff who have families themselves, who are only doing what they're probably legally obligated to do, which is prevent me from being there, right? I mean, because obviously I cannot go there, so I'm intrigued to know. So I could never try to push them, get them out of my way, or cause harm to them for them doing what's right. So I cannot be mad at them for that. So that's not an option for me. So I'm intrigued to know, am I being too far gone with it? Look, Grizz says she called the man an op that impregnated you. Is wild to me. And she wanted the child. See through you says, I think she put it on live so Blueface can see it. You know she had it on live so that he could see it. You are a woman. You know exactly the little games that women play. I'm frustrated. So I'm just saying, I don't believe children should be weaponized against somebody. Because if you want a father there, if you want a father present, there's just certain things you cannot do to a person. A man can only take so much. I know society has told y'all, a man, just throw a book at him. If he a real man, even if the weight of the world is on his shoulders, he can lift it up by himself. Even if he never done a push-up before, he just got to be a man or he not a man. It's wild crazy to me, some of these theoretical thoughts on what a man are. So I'm just saying.
And with how twisted their mind works, I guarantee later on the argument is going to be, oh, well, you should have fought harder to be present in your child during the child's birth. You should have fought harder. Why did you make it an obstacle in the first place? But that we're not going to get into that because time will tell on that one. But this is the goofy. This is what we talk about when we talk about the goofy nature of women and how I'm convinced, I'm 100% convinced in this particular situation, Chrisean Rock knows exactly what she's doing in this particular situation. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's making more drama on her own, which goes along with her brand. She kept Blueface out. Like I said earlier, it's okay to keep the father of the child out of the hospital room, but he's going to have to watch it like the 300,000 other people on the live. It makes no sense. 300,000 people can see your baby, but the father can't be in the room. Like what? These are sad times that we in. Nobody cares about the family. Nobody cares about the family uses. I mean the family unit.
That's not correct. They care about the woman. They care about the woman's rights and the woman's authority, and they're willing to enforce it with all type of laws, policemen. I'm just saying, men know that they have to concede. Lawfully, he probably don't have a right, right? We understand that, right? But he's still a man, and a man has their own system in which they operate by, right? So I'm saying, right? So these women don't know how to compartmentalize, right? They're saying he threatened her or safety of the birth, and forget Chrisean and Blueface. Are you telling me that a woman cannot keep a man from seeing his child being birthed, regardless if he said anything negative at all? Because she can, is the point. You guys are so surface level, you don't think beyond it.
Is it? I'm interested in, because where was his birth taken? Like, what state was his birth in?
I have no clue. I'm gonna assume LA. But I'm
assuming LA too. But like what are the like we got to look at what the laws are out there, because maybe Blueface, this happens to a lot of brothers too, when it comes to like paternity code too. Like a lot of brothers just acquiesce because of what they heard instead of actually knowing the laws in their particular state. Oh, it happened at Chassé, Maryland. So you know what I'm saying? He probably just decided to acquiesce when he probably actually did have rights where he could have fought to be in the room.
There are no rights. You won't be able to look up anything anywhere where it says if a woman don't want a man present at the child's birth, he can forcibly be there. You won't find anything.
It's insane. This is fucking insane.
They are still so hooked on Chrisean and Blueface. They don't understand.
Yeah, it's a broader conversation.
This at any time. With any man, your brother, your other brother, any man, your brother that you don't date, your brother, man, he there for all his kids. He a good man. What? Why he can't be there? Because I said so. And that's all the answer has to be. So I'm just wondering, right? Because I have to project. At what point do a man say, I don't want nothing to do with this? I don't like the level of authority used against me. I don't like that you took a moment away from me. Men have emotions and feelings too that nobody else cares about. Other men don't care about them. Women don't care about them. Fine. but you take a moment away from somebody that means something to them, that could never be taken away from you. You think it means nothing because you don't care, because it's not something you ever have to experience. And these are the issues that exist in life. Women are mad that men don't have to experience the thing that women have. Men are like trying to tell women, y'all don't have to experience the thing that we experience. And they think their experience of life is harder than the experience of a man in life. Absolutely. But the problem is we're never going to experience each other's experiences.
Right.
So how do we get along or work well together is the problem. And the thing that I'm having an issue with, she gets to name the child after her. That's mad disrespectful. And he couldn't even be there. So I'm asking you, at what point can he say, I don't want nothing to do with this child. I can't be there. I can't name her. I don't feel no connection to this child. So it's cool. Go ahead. I move on. Without society looking at him as he is a horrible person. Because remember, a woman can give her child up for adoption and say, I wasn't ready, but because of my beliefs, I couldn't go with the deletion, right? And people would say, I appreciate you understanding that you're not prepared to be a mom and da-da-da-da. And they would accept it. So at what point does society accept a man can be pushed away from wanting to experience being a father? Or it's just going to be because you're a man? Because it seems like that seems to be the answer for everything. And that, to me, will not work.
Well, this is the thing. This is why I say I would fuck up the hospital staff, even if they are innocent in the scenario. Because in that exact scenario, man has two options. He can get wild and belligerent, or he can do scorched earth and have no contact with the baby or the mother. In the long term, I would like for my child to know that on some level, daddy fought for them. I would like for that story to be told. So even if I got to go to jail, if I got to go to prison, I am going to make a ruckus at the hospital so that my seed knows that daddy ain't in your life right now because your mother didn't want him in the life, and daddy, he fought to be in your life.
So that's fine, right? But let me ask you this. Then would you want a child after 17 or 18 years been indoctrinated with their mother's teaching to then go, now that I heard the truth from my dad, I don't really rock with moms no more? Is that the hope to get out of that?
I don't rock with moms no more. I mean, at some point they're going to learn the truth. At some point, and it's going to be devastating. It's going to be. I've said many times about what happened between my parents on these panels and whatnot, and how I had to actually go back, do the work and process, because as a masculine boy, you naturally want to take up for your mother in a scenario. But then when you go back with your adult mind and you process certain things, you'll be like, yeah, who plays the recording back when we had answering machines, right? Who plays
Hold on real quick. Maddie Rue says men used to wait outside the birthing room a couple of decades ago. A lot of things used to be different a couple of decades ago. Women are asking for different men. You're asking for men with deeper emotional ties and connection to children. So we're not in the same environment. So the things that our grandfathers thought was not important is the same things y'all don't appreciate that y'all grandmother went through, so y'all changing it. When you whoop your kid, you say, I don't ever want to whoop my kid, because what I experienced, we're in a different environment. So that may have been something important then, but it's not the case now. Because if you want to talk about what used to happen a couple decades ago, that's fine, but y'all not going to like how life was a couple decades ago for y'all. So why push us to a point where we don't like what happened a couple decades ago on us?
I don't understand about the way back machine where everybody's trying to go way back to another time. I never understand what that's about, because people want to nitpick certain things where they go way back to. Like, for instance, when we talk about, y'all don't provide like your grandfather used to, right? A lot of men back in those days used to beat on women as well. So what are we nitpicking? What to keep them in line? So what are we nitpicking and going back? It was widely accepted that women would get, slap in the face, Ike Turner treatment, the whole nine. to a certain degree. So like why are we going way back on certain things and not keeping everything else? You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. Let's just move forward. So
a lot of these women are dusties. A lot of the men are dusties. Dusties impregnating ratchets. That's the
true.
problem.
That's true. These are the men that they choose.
Way before she got pregnant, that she was ratchet. Look at all the stuff that they posted online, especially when they had all those interviews and stuff. And she was saying all that nonsense. He was born a very weak man. And he grew up around good, strong women, right?
Yep.
And he's used to being treated like that. So he's going to keep being treated like by the women that he grew up around. So she is just one of the things that he grew up around. So he doesn't know better. He doesn't know nothing. That guy doesn't even understand how a woman should treat him because he never had that experience. Look at where he was born. Look at his body. Look at all those tattoos. Look at everything around his body. Look at her. They're both from the worst of the worst. So they're always going to be the worst of the worst. I don't have any pity for those two idiots. I only have pity for the child.
And that's who I have pity for too, yeah.
It's not the child for being here, by being born by two dusties and a dusty and a ratchet. It's not a child's fault. Because if you look at online, some of these people commenting, most of these people commenting and saying all this shit are also dusties online saying all this nonsense. We have a lot of dusties and ratchet on this on the panel talking. I'm sorry, on the chat room. It's the same thing. They're all from that same neighborhood. They're defending her because she is one of them. She's exactly one of them. So they're going to defend her behavior because she's just one of them. I don't give a damn about those two people. It's just that child. The child never chose to be here.
Aaron,
and guess what? He's going to turn out to be just like them. Because guess what? Serpent gives birth to serpents.
Now, what's the sex of the child?
I have no clue.
No true clue of what the sex is. Did Chrisean Walk have a?
I think it was a boy.
God damn it. Okay, so did Chrisean have like a restraining order on Blueface? Or no?
I doubt she put a restraining order on him. But
then how can we believe anything that she's talking about as far as the abuse and all of it? Because why wouldn't you, especially if you a person with money, why wouldn't you?
Their abusive relationship is clearly documented. They abuse each other.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, what grounds do you have to keep? It's a boy, so what? God, it's so much worse that it's a boy. It's so much worse that it's a boy.
I used to think that because I only can think as a man, but my brain allows me to stretch further than my own limited thinking, which is an amazing thing to just randomly say. But I think it's just as bad for a girl.
You think it's just as bad as?
I think it's just as bad. I think we tend to chalk it up that we have a better understanding of what the world has to impact men with, and we don't truly kind of understand the women's side. But I think it's just as bad. I think it's just as bad whether it's a daughter or a son, to be honest with you. I don't even think women can raise daughters to be women. I don't see that. What I often see is women struggle just as much as a son struggles when a father isn't there. And if a woman can overcome it every once in a while, then they can overcome it whether it's a boy or a girl. I think it's bad for both. I don't think the sex actually matters.
I think it's worse for a boy because this is what we talking about. If we talking deep, like think about we're talking about the growth and the development of the child, but think about the finalized product, right? All of these children one day become adults with their own autonomy, their own ways about the world, their ability to affect the community in gross ways. Like with a girl, she'll go off. She'll probably, you know what I'm saying, She probably gonna become a sexy red or whatnot. If it's a boy, we talking about murders, we talking about drugs, we talking about destruction of property, possible home invasions. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's way worse that it's a boy, because he's going to, and I say this often for most males that are under a single mother household, right? She is going to put her and matter of fact, Kanye just said this about Blueface. She is going to put her feminine ways, or her pseudo masculine. It's pseudo masculine because they never go full masculine, because they don't want the accountability, which is supremely masculine. They want to do whatever they want to do. They want the autonomy of men, but they don't want to take the responsibility of men. So, or the accountability of men. So that he's going to go out, wild out, do a bunch of dumb shit, affect the community in terrible ways. He's going to be very destructive to his community. He's probably going to impregnate 4 or 5 chicks like NBA YoungBoy.
So your argument is, because there are women that have 12 kids. So your argument is being legitimately so that what's negative for the world, this is what comes from men, and this is what comes from women. However, the worst scenario is as worse it can be for that each individual. It just seems like you think the destruction that a man can do is far more worse than the destruction that a woman can do. And I'm telling you, that's what you visibly see. But what you get is more women hating men, which then causes a guy that's grown up in a world with women that dislike him. So it's equally as bad. I don't see, if you look beyond the fact that we're men and we're like, man, he needs to understand in this moment, do this, that. These women are just as hurt. These women are not coming out non-issues. You know what they saying? My mom didn't do this. She tried to raise me to do this. And they're not saying that they having just as much issues without a father being present, whether it's the son or the daughter. It's just, it impacts things differently. And so when I keep looking at these players that keep getting drafted, every time I hear, Mom, you ain't got to work no more. It's over with. They ain't got to work no more. So there are sons that don't fall in that system that have single moms. Most crime, a large majority of crime, is less than 1% of the population. We all know that, right? It's very, very low numbers. I understand what the guy can do as far as the destruction he can do physically, but you have to understand what the other aspect of the impact that women have that is not so visible that you can see, that they do outside the visual aspect, that the mental component that it plays in society is why we get into this point. And how many women are feminists that love and appreciate their dad? Not many of them. So you got to think of exactly. You have to think about the impact of not a father being present and allowing these women to go and disseminate these experiences in the world, and then they push away men. So I think it's very vast, and I just think in a vacuum it's easier to say that it's worse if it's a boy. I just look at it. There's so many factors that I could point to the negative and wrong that can happen on both ends. I'm just more problematic of the situation, the fact that she get to name the child, she get to tell you can't be at the birth, you come around when I want you to come around, and women still want a level of a man being attentive and wanting and desiring to be there, which is an emotional thing, but taking away some of the most important moments for men that they don't believe or care about, that we should have access to, that we should never be denied.
How did Scarface? How did Al Pacino put it in Scarface? You know what I'm saying? They need the villain. They need to point at somebody to say that's the bad guy. And that's what they setting these fathers up as.
Think about what she just said. Listen to this video. Listen to this video right here.
Girl, I went on a date one time back when I was dating. I went on a date with a guy that had a 3-month-old. And see, that's disgusting. I felt like, sir, if you don't go work it out with that mama, please, what could this is what we spent our date talking about. At least go sit in a house with her. This is what we spent our date talking about. What could this lady have done that you would rather her be at home with your 3-month-old and you here with a stranger? It make sense. Make the logic. The fact that you thought that you telling me this was gonna make me want to have another date. You know, it was just like, sir.
But the ones that don't talk about the kids that's 3 months.
Yeah. And
or
you
the
just
one
don't even
that's on
know.
the way.
Yeah,
They tell you
part.
about that one, but we ain't gonna be together. Boy, get the
You think
hell
I'm gonna be
away from
right,
me.
You think I'm gonna be turned on? Okay, then we gonna be together.
With this new baby.
With this.
But like it never happens vice versa. Matter of fact, women will be fucking the next nigga in the other room while their kids playing in the front room. Like, come on, bro. At least men have some sort of respect to the point where if he got the kids, he gonna shut fun down. A lot of solid dudes that I know that are single fathers out here handling business, taking care, they shut entire weekends down just to focus on their kids.
Do you understand that they said, I can't believe he's on a date. You got women coming up on the Pineapple Show, pregnant, just had a baby 1 month old, talking about, yeah, I'm looking for a new man. To act like this is a man thing is crazy.
It's insane.
Come on now. They told him you need to go get back with the mother of your child. What are they telling Chrisean?
Girl, you don't need him. He tripping. You know what I'm saying? You could do bad all by yourself. All the shit to keep her single. Meanwhile, on the lows, they probably sliding in Blueface's DMs. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 wow. They sliding in Blueface's DMs on the low while he's going through tumultuous times. Because this is the thing. Women think that men should work how women work. This is why when women talk about their achievements and whatnot, they're using all of these accolades to attract men, because that's what women are traditionally attracted to. So these women are now flipping the game and thinking that if he's under tumultuous circumstances, he's going to be emotionally vulnerable, and he's going to be susceptible to their wiles, and then I can get him if I keep her and him separate. I guarantee at least a few of her girlfriends, I'd say probably at least 3, are in his DMs as we speak. I can almost guarantee it. Meanwhile, on the surface level, in her ear, telling her that she don't need no man.
My read says she's dating already.
Oh, she's already dating? God, dog, that was damn. It's crazy.
See, the problem is this, right? And this is the issue, because to me it's bigger than Chrisean. She's just a public figure that everybody can connect with. The problem is this, right? Chrisean, he ain't lying to her. Blueface a pimp. She knew that. He ain't make this up. He been messing with multiple chicks. She know that. These men need to stop lying. That man ain't a liar. He is who he is. Clear as day. Stevie Wonder know who that man is. 5 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years. We saw all this, right? She still wanted a child with him. But somehow, some way, and this is the problem that exists with women, they will excuse all of a woman's bad behavior. See, I tell you about a guy, lock him up. We don't need him. We don't need him in the community. Now he bad. He a bad look. Even though everyone deserves redemption, especially if you go to jail, you do your time, you deserve a level of ability to redeem yourself. But at some point, women should have washed her hands with him. But the problem with women is this. They see themselves in other women. And because women ultimately always want to be forgiven, they feel like they have to forgive everybody else. So they're like, oh, I got to forgive her just in case I do that. Or I need to be forgiving just in case I go through those situations. Men don't do that. I ain't never going through that. You on your own. Get rid of him. But I don't understand how women just don't hold her fully accountable. Oh, this is ridiculous. She knew who he was. If we could see it from a mile away, they can see it. Women been telling her for all this time. Her mom, cousin, everybody done told her. She still decided. And at what point do women go, look, you already knew. We saw it. We know it that you knew. They still will support no matter what. 311,000 people in there watching.
But this is what I'm saying. Well, okay, majority of the 3,000, 1,100 people watching are just trying to see what type of ratchet shit come up. Because again, her brand has been built around drama. That's just what it is. They want to see the drama that goes on. They want to see the ratchet shit. That's entertainment, right? But the people that she has around her that are supporting her, this is exactly what I was saying earlier. Women fake fuck with each other for real. Women fake. I know women that go through who DV. I'm gonna just say DV situations because I don't know how the whole word affects you on YouTube, but I'm gonna say the DV situation. These women go through DV situations. Their girlfriend, the good ones, the ones that most of these, you know what I'm saying, thought pockets in the chat would consider to be quote unquote pygmies. The good women will try to save and rescue the woman in the DV situation, and then that woman in the DV situation will be seen the next month back in the arms of that man. She's gonna go back to him. So at some point we just gotta call stupid. You know what I'm saying? But women don't want to do that because that comes with confrontation. See, most men aren't afraid of confrontation. You know what I'm saying? The worst that the nigga's gonna do, he's probably gonna punch me in the face. We gonna fight. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. But we gonna let each other know where we stand with each other if we really boys like that. But women, they will say whatever it is just to get over on the moment, just to be fake
what
comforting.
guy take care of his kids and got a homie that don't?
Not a single one.
Not a single one. Unless they understand that baby mama crazy, it ain't nothing he can do.
As a matter of fact, true story. I was in a music group with an individual who shall not be named. He had 3 kids, right? He couldn't hold down the job for shit. I was trying to help him through it. It was in my much younger, naive years. He couldn't hold down the job for shit. I was trying to help him through it. It got so bad to the point where he couldn't even afford food. I pulled food out of my fridge to feed his kids. Later on, this man is going to turn and tell me, one day he turns and tells me he can't catch the bus in order to hold down a job to take care of his kids. At that exact moment, he stopped being the homie. You can't catch the bus to do what you need to do and handle your responsibilities as a man on earth. Peace out. Until you do, we can't speak until you're home straight. Cause I pull food out of my fridge to feed your kids, but you can't catch the bus to feed your kids. I ain't trying to hear the shit, fam. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel, you know what I'm saying? At the time, I was holding down 2 jobs. You can't hold down 1 to feed 3 kids. I'm kidless, but I'm feeding your kids out of my fridge. Make it make sense. It don't. Peace.
Yeah, I just think it's frustrating.
It's terrible, like, all the way around. And I'm not absolving Blueface for it either, but at some point we got to be accountable for the decisions we make. She on here talking about the ops. She got this man's face tatted on her neck.
But the thing is, hold Blueface accountable for being honest about who he was. Like, see, once again, women say they want a choice. They want an informed choice. He ain't lying. He's very, very clear from day one how he moved. Like, he ain't lying.
Nah, he wasn't lying at all.
And the women will sit there and watch a woman making her own choice, right? Know the information and go, he took advantage of her. She didn't know no better. She was young and dumb. Like, every single excuse, right? So why don't when you don't say, listen, all right, this woman, he told her, he honest with her, like, she know what the type of guy he is, all these things before she even got pregnant, all of this stuff. These women know this stuff and they'll still be rocking with her. And I just don't understand how you don't disassociate yourself from somebody that is that bad. I just don't get it.
It's because the bad boy shit is cool until it ain't no more. That's what it is. The ratchet shit is cool until it ain't no more. Everybody was telling her. Everybody telling you about that bad boy.
Right? Her dad, right, punched him. Her dad beat him up one time. She's been abused by this guy many, many times, and she has also done the same shit to him. But why can't she walk away? That's why I said, ratchet always go with the stupid in the hood. And for some reason, she keep walking back. There are millions of black men. 56% of black men don't have girlfriends. They are single. They are nerds. They are highly talented. These guys, some of them are engineers, some of them are lawyers, some of them are highly placed. Why would she not straighten her life and go and follow these men? You know why? Because they won't put up with her shit. They won't tattoo like she tattoos. They won't be rugged like she is. They won't be dusty. They won't be nasty like her. They won't tolerate her messiness. They won't even tolerate her not taking showers sometimes. You see what I'm saying? These are things that these men will not tolerate. I'm sorry. If you get to deal with one of these girls, man, you're not going to go back. But for some reason, they still deal with this dusty man. This man that will put their hands. I have never put my hand on a woman. But I won't tolerate one putting her hand on me either. But because I've always drawn that line. I've drawn that line. Even my wife and I have not physically abused each other. We've been together for 13 years. We've never done any shit to each other. You know why? Because I drew that line the very first minute we met. Don't ever put your hand on me. Don't disrespect me. And she doesn't do that in public. In private, when I tell her to stop, she stops. When I tell her to keep quiet, she keep quiet because she knows I don't tolerate. But guess what? These ratchet women, we always crawl back to these dusty men. And I don't feel sorry for them. If he knocks off her eyes, I'm sorry.
Kenny, hold on 1 second. Cece is here and she says, wait, are y'all mad because she's now trying to remove herself from a toxic situation? No.
She should have removed herself.
We're not mad that she's trying to remove herself from a toxic situation. I'm trying to balance out whether a father should be present for a child and want to take care of a child when he's being denied the ability to see the birth of his child, things that are important to him. At what point can a guy just say, no, forget it. I don't want to deal with it. Because I understand that if a woman does not want to be a mother, she can give her child up for adoption. And society will support her wholeheartedly. So Aaron, that's what it is. I already understand that you guys want to find an excuse for her. Like, honestly, women have this, women have just such this unique ability over people that other women see these women doing stupid things, wrong things, and go, well, at least she's trying now. I could say the same thing after 10, 15 years. Hey, look, he no longer robbing people. He no longer in a gang. He off the death row now. At least he stopped. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like she made an informed choice of a man that did not lie to her. He told you, I'm a pimp. I got multiple women. And she still had a baby with him. This situation ain't new. Now, let me tell y'all the difference.
Not only that, she was in the stable. She's been around the other women.
But that's not the point. Here's the difference between women that are beyond. This is the frustrating part, because a woman will say, this guy liked me, but he hit me and I left. A woman will tell you, I immediately left. I'm gone. I don't play that. I don't never mess around. If he ever put his hand, I'm gone, right? And then for another woman, well, it's hard. Well, it's difficult. You just don't understand. How come it didn't happen to you? Well, it's different for me. So then won't you make that unique situation for everybody? It's different for Blueface then. But the problem is, I just don't know where the communication is lost at. I just don't. I don't get it.
And this actually is why I believe that polygyny is actually needed in the Black community. The individuals that Kine was talking about for you know, the nerds, the black us blurs, us black nerds that are on our shit, that are going to college, that are getting good grades. Uh, I believe every black male nerd deserves to have 6 wives. I said it because the thing that I keep finding in these scenarios, like I was talking about earlier with the DV situation and the chick that most of y'all would consider to be pygmies, trying to say, is that women want female camaraderie, they want the togetherness and whatnot, but they don't have the structure and order and discipline to maintain those relationships. They always, like, you will often in the wild see ratchet chicks and like upstanding, well-to-do women, select women, commingle with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, for whatever reason. I say it all the time. Women have a habit of condoning shit that they don't necessarily subscribe to. So they're commingling, they're doing all of this shit, and it just creates chaos. And then these situations happen where one chick is getting wailed on, the other chick's trying to save her ass, and then next thing you know, she's back with the other dude. If there was a strong male presence in all of their lives that they were able to be around, they could have their sisterhood for the emotional for the emotional reasons that they want the sisterhood, the emotional support, and then they can have the strong male, a singular strong male presence in their life to give them guidance, direction. It would be much more harmonious, in my opinion. Much more harmonious.
Hold on, let me say this real quick.
I don't know about that.
It's so interesting when somebody that doesn't have the kind of degree I have comes to me and tell me that I don't speak proper English. It's laughable. You know why? Because somebody that says such a thing cannot even stand to get it, the A+ that I got for English, both from Nigeria and the US. How dare you come and tell an aerospace engineer that he can speak English properly? What kind of degree do you have? Because I don't speak English the way you do? That's nonsense. That's belligerent. You can't even withstand me in a single word of English. I studied literature. I speak English brilliantly. You can't even speak nothing and you want to challenge me in English word? That is the thing about, I'm so fascinated how our black women will go to the lowest condescending level just to win an argument by being disrespectful. That is fascinating. You know why they can do that? Because they hide behind the computer and then they can say whatever they want to say because you know what? There is no challenge to their stupidity. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And Robin, I was seeing all the shit that you was popping in chat. I don't know what happened, but you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna talk
I'm
bad.
not even paying attention to the chat because
I didn't say anything then. I ain't gonna say nothing now, but I saw what you were saying.
I'm not paying attention to it. But the thing is, I don't know about that 6 wives part. I don't. Whatever. If people want 6, I think the women should agree to it, which is common. So if they want 6, whatever. I think women should get six husbands if they can pull it off. I don't care, right? The frustrating part about is this imbalance of the direct responsibility that they want on men. You need to be there for your child no matter what this woman puts you through. Every chance I get, I start to see reasons why men are like, nah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and so when I heard this, I'm like, damn, she named the kid after her? And she said you can't see the child being born? Dang. Whoa.
It had nothing to do. It wasn't in the best interest of the child. It was to have the power over the man. Like I say it all the time, listen to how they move. They seek power over men. That's why Ikene gets what he gets on the panel, because he's a strong black man. He doesn't conform, he doesn't bend, he doesn't compromise. He says what he says and he stands on it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're coming after you, Kenny, about the speech, because they're trying to nitpick and find anything that they can come after you.
I understand, I understand, but sometimes you just have to let those people understand that stupidity last forever. You see what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? There's something I would call illiterate is a disease. It can never be cured. The only way to cure it is to be educated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the sad thing about life is this, right? Growing up as little kids, we were taught that when you want to be respected, you have to be doing respectful things. The moment you start doing things that are disrespectful, you become disrespected. Respect is something that is given, but as well something that is earned.
See, this is why the women think something wrong with y'all, because y'all go off on a tangent and they think you have a level of anger towards women, because the conversation is about trying to understand at what point do a man say I don't want to take care of the child, I'm cool, I'm off with it, right? And y'all take that moment and go, hey, let me go off on women, and this is why the women get frustrated, and this is why they
disagree. I disagree on that, Aaron. We're not going off on women. Well,
y'all not listening. You're not hearing me. You're still not talking about my question.
To speak to your question or to answer your question, a man shouldn't walk away from his child because you don't like a woman. You see what I'm saying? You should never in any circumstance do that. You gotta fight every battle to every state or federal or local level to have access to your kids 50% of the time. If you have evidence, you take full custody of your children. Do not walk away from your children, because guess what? There are two things that happen when a child is born. A child is a legacy to his father or her father, but a child is a seed to his mother or her mother. A woman doesn't care about legacy; she cares about the seed. But a father, let me finish, Aaron.
Why did she name this child after her then, if she don't care?
It's a spike.
No, what y'all don't see is y'all don't start to see trends and turns. You don't realize women can say, you know what, that's my child. I'm gonna name that child after me. Did you not understand that women could just do this in droves? Like every one of them could be like, that's my junior. Why should only men be able to carry their blood, like their so-called legacy? Why can't I do that? You don't think about that?
Because nature doesn't give. Go ahead, Omni, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying to your question, I think I answered it earlier. I'm fucking up the hospital if someone tells me I can't see my kid. The very moment you tell me, Omni, the mother requested that you're not allowed to see your kid, so we're not going to let you in there. I'm going to my car and I'm coming back with, I'm not playing. I'm not, and this is the thing about masculine men.
You willing?
We cannot even comprehend an existence in which we would allow somebody to keep us from our child if we want to be in our child's life.
So you're willing to destroy your life?
My child is going to know that their father fought for them. At the end of the day,
I wouldn't say. No. I wouldn't.
So then you actually give credence to women having control over men, then, because if she can get you to throw your life away and risk certain things,
the alternative is her keeping the child from me. So in either circumstance, she has control.
It's temporary. It's not permanent.
She don't actually have no control if you say
she does.
No.
Yeah. She doesn't.
And that's what the point I'm trying to get the conversation to. At what point does a guy be like, you know what? Good, you got it. Good, that's your child. Have a nice life.
Aaron, I spoke about this earlier. This is what I said. I said that you got to go to the local, state, and federal to get possession of your children.
Okay. You're not listening. I'm gonna try this again. I'm not saying how to get custody of your kid. That's not my question. If a woman says you can't be at the birth, you don't get to name your child, and at what point does a man can say, you know what, I don't want nothing to do with this child, You're taking away things and experiences that I can never get back that is meaningful to me because you want to. And I will not allow you to weaponize anything against me for your selfish desires.
As a man, you can walk away. Aaron, as a man, you can walk away anytime. If you think that child is not worthy of your fight, your legal fight, not physical fight, I got to name it. I got to use the phrase right. If it's not worthy of your legal fight, walk away.
This is what I hate about the legal fight argument.
Omni,
Go ahead,
let me say something to you real quick. The world is so big, you don't have to waste your time impregnating a woman in America that cannot conform. The world is so big. You can go outside this country and start a whole new family and live a peaceful life. I'm telling you that. You don't have to waste your time with all these crazy asses here. Just move out. You can come here, work, raise a family overseas, do your thing, and you will have your children to yourself and live a happily life. Why would you want to go through this? It doesn't work.
Because my seed is out there being subject to certain narratives about their father.
Walk away from that seed. Come back 18 years later. There are many ways to be in the life of that child. You can always visit. You can always get court custody. But to answer Aaron, there is never a time. If he's going to take your life, if he's going to be that risky, walk away, please.
I just don't, because you're talking about somebody who actually lived in this circumstance, where he was raised in certain narratives about his father was perpetuated against him. My father died before we had an actual chance to repair our relationship in a real way. My father died of kidney cancer before we had a true chance, due to my mother's manipulation. Because who was I around? Who had me in their custody the entire time? My mother did. So she had the opportunity to say whatever she wanted about my father. And as a child, I just had to eat it, digest it with my childlike brain that didn't really understand the full context of what was going on. And so when I got of age, we had a little bit of a relationship, but there were so many years without my father in my life. And I'd be lying if I say I wasn't lesser. I'd be lying if I say I wasn't lesser for it. So we could talk about what we would do in these scenarios and whatnot. I lived it as the child. I will not have that happen for my seed. I don't give a damn.
This is very sad. It's very sad, but I gotta tell you this, bro. Go ahead, Aaron.
Are you against giving children up for adoption?
Am I against it? Yes, I am against giving children, unless it's like some sort of extenuated circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Like medical circumstances, like the parents are going to die, they need to be relocated with somebody or whatever, and the child is like young enough, like a baby or something, that they can put in a box so nobody actually knows about it. I'm not saying crashing out is the best solution. I'm saying that the child should at least know that the father fought for them on some level. And the best way to do that is to actually fight for the child, if need be. The mother tells me I can't see my child, I'll never be in the child's life again, I'm crashing out.
Lee, is that you, bro?
Yeah, yo, it's me.
Okay. You could be off camera if you need. I was just making sure that's you, bro.
I bet.
I don't know. I'm struggling with this, right? Because I mean that makes sense if that's your position, right? So let me ask you this. In a general sense, if you found out that your mother gave up your brother for adoption, you would disown her?
My mother gave up my brother for adoption?
Yeah,
would I disown her?
Yeah, because I'm trying to see how strong of a position you actually have.
What relationship do me and my brother have? Like, how old are we? What's the context? I need the full context. How old are we? Or did this happen at birth and I wasn't able to establish those relationships?
So let's say before you were born, she gave up the first child she had for adoption.
Gave up the first child that she had for adoption. So the only way I would find out about it is if my long lost brother came back when I was later on in life. Would I give up my mother? Would I give up a relationship with my mother? I don't think so. Over that,
Okay, so,
I don't think
so
so.
then
I would have to
not
understand what
really against adoption then.
I'm against it. She's gonna do what she's gonna do. As my mother.
But the problem is, if you're strongly against something, for example, right? If one of your homies don't take care of their kids, you're not rocking with him no more. Because he don't have a
circumstances.
Right?
Yes.
He don't have a right. He don't have a right to not raise a child he don't want to raise. However, if your mom decide to give away a child and not deal with him, you won't disown her for that.
If my mother decides to give up a child, first of all, I wouldn't know about it for an extended period of time.
I agree.
This is what I'm saying. In these scenarios, the most precious resource is being lost. Time that none of us get back, but we're forced to spend it every second of every day. And she took what she took from me in that particular scenario, talking about the brother for adoption, what she took in that particular scenario was the time that me and my brother would have had together to grow in development. But I can't necessarily feel for an individual that I never knew in the first place. It's a different context because in my own personal life, I did have my father in my life until I was of a certain age. And then the divorce happened, and then Katrina happened, and then I didn't see my father for a good number of years. My mother spent narratives. So like there was a connection that was taken away. And then that's why I was asking what it was for the adoption, because if I don't know the person, I can't actually feel for that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is everybody coming there and leave off? Oh shit!
Let me see here.
We ain't gonna do that.
The
Not tonight.
UNF Cabo says, if you look closely, Omni and Keisha are twins. How do you know? How do you know Keisha? You don't know Keisha.
I don't know Keisha. I don't know what Keisha they talking about.
He don't know Keisha. He just talking. Lee, the head was trash. I can't pay in full. Okay, I don't know what they talk about right now.
You know what they talking about, Aaron, but
Aaron, check this out. Aaron, check this out. Right?
Oh, yeah, you know what they talking about.
A lot of these women don't know how much they break up family when they don't let a child access to his father. It's very, like I'm listening to you, Omni. It's heart wrenching. I can't imagine me not having my dad, because all through my life I grew up with my dad being there. My parents, both of whom were there, and I can't imagine not having a parent, one of your parents, especially your father, in the house. Is devastating. But the thing is this, one question that I do ask is this: what is the repercussion to women that separate their children from their father? What is the repercussion to them in American society? Because I know the repercussion in Nigerian society, but what's the repercussion here?
There is none, and that's the problem. That's the crux of the problem, is that there is no what they suffer from is they suffer all of the stuff that they didn't think about in the first place. Like when you get and I'm gonna use Kevin Samuel's show as a example. There were a lot of times where Kevin was coaching women right through his questioning and whatnot, and the stories that he would get from him is, okay, well, my husband, she considers him to be a broke ass nigga, a bum ass nigga, because she makes $40,000 and he makes $40,000 as well, but it didn't support the lifestyle that she foresaw herself as a little girl having. So she would rather break up the family when they have kids together. She would rather break up the family and struggle with her one income instead of sticking it out with two incomes. That is the insanity that we have here. She would rather work two jobs to be single, quote unquote, be all bad, do all bad by herself. She would rather pick up a second job than stay in a 2-income household with her husband. That's what we have here going on in the States. That makes more sense to them.
Yeah, because back home,
no idea what you're talking about. Why are we jumping from so?
We're asking what's the repercussion to women that divide
That break up the family.
That break up
like
family.
Chrisean Rock is breaking up her family.
Like, what's the repercussion? Because back home,
Aaron, what is your question? What is your question, Aaron?
I'm just listening to because I want to hear people's thoughts. Well, my question ultimately is, if a woman could deny you the experience of your child being birthed, deny you the experience, deny you the ability to name your child, denying you a lot of things that men would want and need in order to build a relationship with their child emotionally, etc. Right? At what point is it okay for a guy to be like, it's fine, I don't even want to deal with the child, you got it, I'm good? At what point is it reasonably acceptable? People like, I get it, you know what I mean, move on.
It's never. I believe it's never going to be reasonably acceptable, bro. I think men, and then it's going to be men's fault that it's never going to be reasonably acceptable. You heard Omni say if his friend ain't taking care of his kid, he done with him. Don't matter how much time they been. Don't matter if he done did whatever for him. He done with him, and that's what it is, man. Men want to move off pride, ego, and integrity, basically caring about what other people think, and it's never going to be acceptable. But I encourage men to do that. I encourage Blueface to go straight to the court office and be like, yo, I want to emancipate. I don't want nothing to do with that kid. How you gonna name the kid your name? How you gonna have a live stream? Everybody watching it but me? Bro, that shit is so sad that it's like that shit is so sad. I feel so bad for him. Like that shit's sad as hell, bro. And then and now look, what you think gonna happen? What you think she gonna do? You think it's gonna be smooth sailing if he try to be in this kid life? She done named the kid after him. I've never heard no shit. Like, yo, she the God smiter. She the God smiter, bro. I've never heard no woman name the kid. So now every time you say my kid, your son name, you gotta say my name, which is a woman's name. Yo, bro.
Yeah, that should be considered child abuse. But for added context, Lee, the dude was in the house with the children. He just wasn't doing what he needed to do to take care of the children. That's where I was like, yeah, no, we can't kick it anymore. But yeah, like he wouldn't even catch.
You got like a specific scenario, but you see what I mean, though, Omni. Like,
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, you were deadbeat, even though it's like, bruh, they make it impossible, and it's putting pressure on my life. I'm supposed to be out here trying to get it, trying to become something. And if I'm chasing this person around, what I'm gonna do? I could just go make another baby, another family. Men could do that all day long. So I don't think you should sit there and just sit in that, bro. I feel bad for dude, man. That's a terrible situation.
But like I said, a man in those situations are usually a masculine man only usually has two options: is scorch earth or burn it all to hell. Like scorch earth, I'm a
look. You're doing it right now.
I'm gonna go someplace else.
Masculine? What do you mean? Like I think a man that dips off is more masculine. I think a man
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's one of the two options. That's one of the two options. One option is to dip off, or the other option is to crash out over it. Those are the two options.
Crashing out sounds so crazy. Like, did you hear how crazy you sound when you said that you was going to go in there, guns a blazing? Like, come on, you gonna hurt somebody, you gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna it's no win there. At the end of the day,
it's no personal win to me, but I'm thinking selflessly for the child because I don't need my child, my seed, walking around the earth with the narrative that the mother is more than likely going to instill in them for the next 18 years that their daddy wasn't shit and their daddy didn't fight for them.
Yeah, I know, but like at the end of the day, even though you say you're doing it for the child, you're really not. You're doing it for your own pride and ego and that integrity that you so-called that men hold so dear. Because if you was really doing it for the child, you'll understand that you was 15, you were 13, you were 18, and when you were 18, that's when the world really opened up to you. And if you go into your life, if you're really doing it for the child, you go into your life, you create something for yourself, you become a good man, and I promise you, most dudes gonna be like, oh, the child, because y'all ain't have the bond since y'all was young, bro. Like, who really can remember when they was 5 like that? Like, I could, but really, my life really started when I was 18. So if you go back to your kid instead of crashing out and going to jail for 20 years and then come out when your kid, 20 years old. I think that's thinking about the kid. I think a lot of times men are just moving on pride and ego, man, and that shit is the devil, bro.
Well,
Because like,
in both examples, I come back in their life 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? 18, so I guess you saved 2 on that one. But when they're 18, I don't have a relationship at all with the child until they're 18. If I handle
you
it
will though,
in
and you
courts and
can.
lose, and then not if the mother absolutely hates me on the level that
Well,
Chrisean Rock hates
okay.
Blueface. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
you
Like
right. Then you don't have a
I have
relationship
no
with the
access
child.
to the child.
Then you
So
don't
if
have
I
a
go to
relationship.
jail, at least the child walks around with the story that their father fought for them. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
you
Yo,
know
do you hear this
that's
pride and ego
not
stuff? That's crazy.
that
That's
is
so
ego.
crazy. At
That
least
is
the
not
kid. What?
that is not
Yo, that
honorable.
sounds
That is not
so
honorable. You
crazy.
can't do that anymore.
Yo, my God, y'all
Omni, let
pride
me
and
tell you
ego is
something, right?
insane,
You
dog.
cannot do this. You cannot put yourself in
And
jeopardy
say at least
over
the
your
kid knows.
child. You can't do that. You have to be there to raise your child, not raising your child in solitary or 6 feet under. No, it doesn't work. It. Your child needs you psychologically. When you are not there
So,
physically, it
wait,
needs
wait,
you
wait.
psychologically.
Let me just ask y'all because I need to get a baseline understanding. Do you believe in adoption, Akine, or are you against adoption like Omni is?
Let me put it this way, right? I am against adoption, except for a child that doesn't have a father and a mother. People should
Well,
raise their damn
you against
kids.
the
I'll tell you why I'm against it. If you can take care of a child, don't have one. That's it. If you can't take care of one, don't have any. If a child
No.
doesn't,
Ikine, I mean giving your kid up for adoption. So if
I
somebody
will
goes,
not. No, that is bad. Because guess what? In Africa, right? I'm coming from a cultural standpoint. I'm sorry if that offends you guys, and I'm not sorry. In Africa, we never give children up for adoption until the West came with their bullshit of orphanage with the Catholic Church. Adoption is not good. We never did that. We raised our kids ourselves because you don't know what somebody's doing with your child.
Exactly.
You don't do that. You raise your child yourself because guess what what we found out years later? That these Catholic Church people that came to form all these orphanage stuff, 2 things happen in orphanage. Fathers doing some nonsense with with children, and fathers and sisters having kids and dropping them off an orphanage. You see what I'm saying? We don't do that. If you can raise your child, if you can raise a child, don't have one. If you're not responsible enough to raise a child, don't have any. So what I'm saying is this: please don't give up your child for adoption because children don't like that. Kids want to be raised by their parents. Kids don't care how much you make. All this, I gotta make 100,000 is all these dumbass women trying to live a lifestyle that are looking for $100,000. Kids don't care. Kids start thinking about money when they turn 15, 16. That's when they start thinking about material stuff. You can buy, when I was a little kid, my mom used to buy us clothes, only about 10 clothes in a whole year, and we were fine with it. My mom was rich, but she refused to raise us in that lifestyle. Even today, as much money as I have, you know what I do? I only buy 3 shoes in a year. I buy few clothes. I buy maybe like 3 or 4. I have a clothing line. But
what's your clothing line?
I'll send it to you shortly. I have a clothing line. I have a transportation business. I have engineering company. But guess what? I don't live that lavish lifestyle of $100,000. I don't even keep my money. I use my money to build companies. I don't even spend it on myself because I don't need it. I don't even go to clubs. But I've been in the street for a long time and I don't need to go back to the street. Look at it right here. Let me show you. That's my clothing line right there. You see what I'm saying? That's part of my clothing line, right? But guess what? I got to tell you this. The reason why we fucked up in our society is because we are tolerating women that want to live a lifestyle they can't even afford, but they are willing to put their family at risk. What kind of nonsense is that? I'm not supposed to be here sometimes.
if we take,
I'm coming. I come here sometimes to talk to some of us because guess what? I love it. I love this space, right? I like what we're doing. But I'm not going to brag about what I've done in life or what I'm still doing or what I'm about to do. I don't brag about it. But what I'm saying is this: we cannot achieve anything by having such amount of women among us destroying the community. Don't give your child for adoption if you can't have them. If you can't raise them, don't have them. That's all I gotta say.
That sounds extremely impractical because the society has proven. What do you mean by raise them? Because most of these kids not dying from starvation. So what does that mean? Raise them? I don't know what that means. And Sugar Bum, if you want to promote your lash line, you just tell me. Okay, I don't know nothing about your lash line. I don't care anything about.
Hold up, we promoting shit because I can go grab my shoes real quick. Put them
in. Whatever you want. I don't care.
I think everything he said is just like there's like he's not coming up with a real solution. Women are going to have babies. Clearly, women are going to do whatever the hell they want. They either going to name the baby they name, right? So how do we instill shame into this? Like, and what we do is we sit here and we blame the men. We still attack the man and be like, bro, you wasn't in that kid life. I don't care. Go get that kid, no matter what it is. What Aaron asking is, when do we just be like, yo, bro, I understand exactly what you're doing. Go live your life. And,
yeah, I'm trying to get that.
And not right. No, bro, I understand exactly what you're talking about. And then in not shaming the man, are we then creating better men by doing that? Or are we just creating dudes that we scorning, right? That we just trying to bash, just like we would do anybody else, So I don't know, man. I don't think that that's really a solution. Because women gonna have babies regardless. There's always somebody out there that's going to skeet in a woman without a baby. Like I had a kid at 16, and then I never had a kid again. Most dudes not doing that. Most dudes go on and they gonna have 4 more kids. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I think it's more or less not blaming the man.
Get married if you don't want her to take your kids. I don't think you guys are understanding. This ain't about taking your kids because at some point, it's about understanding that there are things that are important to men that women can take away from them that a man could never take away from her. We can never take away a woman from being present from her child being born, ever. But she can do that to a man.
Right.
You see what I mean? Like
you don't never hear in the chat no type of sympathy. Like, damn, that's crazy. You don't never see the women say that. They just got a rebuttal to what you about to say. That's facts. Go ahead, Aaron.
Lamar Black says, does his clothes come with a free hairline? These guys. Jessamy says, I said, don't. What did you say? The chat kind of moving a little fast for me right now. I said, don't let that woman take your kids. I know. That's what it ain't got nothing to do with taking your kids. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand.
She's talking about fighting. She's talking about fighting, spending unnecessary money that you don't need to, that you shouldn't even have to spend. You're talking about being a burden in your life. But it's not a burden in the mom's life.
Let's try this, Jessamy. Maybe this will help better. Who gets to name the child? Who gets to name the child, and who gets to determine who's present for the birthing of a child?
Well, I thought that was up for the men, right?
Now, I want to see all the lies that go here, right? And this is when you start to have issues with people not being straightforward and honest, right? What you got, Omni? Let me see what that is.
It's my shoes, man. High
Now we
top
want to see the
canvas.
shoe. Don't just show us the box. Show us the shoe.
Hold on.
We're
Oh
gonna
shit!
get
I
on your
grabbed the wrong
line if it
box.
ain't him.
I grabbed the wrong box. I'll be right back. Hold on one second.
Okay, he nervous, y'all. He nervous.
I grabbed the wrong box. Hold
He
on.
nervous. He don't come right with the right stuff. He nervous. So
Yo, but Aaron, isn't it supposed to be the man?
Move too quick.
The name?
well, that's a good question. I'm asking you.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was the man.
So let's have a conversation. Let's just say you got
That's
your
in
girl,
marriage.
and your girl tell you, I'm naming a child after me. What you gonna do about it?
Nothing. Yeah, these dudes. Nothing. Go ahead and say nothing, bro. Go ahead and say you ain't gonna do nothing, man, because y'all can't do nothing. Y'all be all this tough talk, and if he right, if she be like, nah, I'm naming the kid, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do? Go in there, guns a blazing?
Nah,
You gonna rob the nurse for the name? You gonna steal a birth certificate?
Nah, I'm gonna grab that brick.
That's not.
Yeah, you're a fool.
Listen. The women in the chat, stop with the whole. Y'all guys have to have pre-conversations. A woman will tell you, "I talked to all," and he still changed. Legitimately, just answer the question honestly. Don't ask these stupid questions that I'm someone that is hyper aware of setting expectations and knowing someone can break an expectation. I'm asking you, if me and a woman disagree, I want to really name the child's mind. We already agreed. I changed my mind. I'm naming the child. Who wins that battle?
Yeah. Omni, can I see your shoe real quick so we can talk offline?
I mean,
for sure. Hold on.
Why can't the women in the chat just say, ultimately, if it come down to it, the mother does? I just don't understand why they can't do that. But they genuinely want an honest conversation from a man. Is ridiculous to me.
Man, it's always gonna be women. Women always gonna feel like they got a leg down because, like, if we wasn't here, they'd be the queen of the food chain. You know what I'm saying? But like, they always gonna feel like man, F these dudes, man. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. And I ain't even mad at them for feeling that way. To be honest with you, I would do the same thing if I was a woman. But they always gonna feel like, yo, they think they better than us. Nah, they not, because they human. So that's why they just gonna defend it. They not even gonna acknowledge your question. They're not even about to acknowledge that. Makes too much sense on the man's side.
I just wish the women would say, ultimately, if me and the dad didn't agree, ultimately I decide. Like, I really wish they would just acknowledge that I'm the one with the power to decide, instead of saying, oh no, I would never do that, because I'm not asking about you. I'm asking you the truth. Where does the power actually lie with determining what the child's name is? Jesus, this stuff is, man, I just can't believe this. Everybody in the chat, oh no, we come to an agreement. Oh no, we discussed it before. But if we disagree, what will happen? This is why this stuff is frustrating. If I want to see my child being born and you said no, what will happen?
Somebody in the Kazi, I think it's Kazi, right? She said that her hubby was asleep, and then she decided on a name. When the hubby woke up, she told him that the name that she actually told the hubby the name she decided on, and then they went ahead and named their baby, their child. So Kazi, my question is this to Kazi: what about if your hubby has said no, that he doesn't, agree to the name that you suggested? What would you do at that point? What would you do, Kazi, if your hubby decided against the name that you suggested?
Well, remember, it also depends what country that they in, because in America is different. I don't know how I go down in Africa, but I'm sure that Kanye was there with his 7 wives.
No, my wife is actually African. My wife is actually African American.
It's literally a joke.
It's not African.
It's literally a joke.
Okay.
Your wife, I listen well. I know your wife is African. I'm saying I don't know what the rules and requirements back in the motherland is what they call it. If the women could be
no, she can do that. The man gives it them 100% back home. She can suggest because some of the names that you should see. I gotta just say this: we in Africa are not that staunch. A woman will always bring up names, suggestive names, both for male and female, but the husband ultimately has the last say. So don't think that women in Africa cannot, even when, okay, we have this thing in Africa that we say, when you go to a family meeting, all men want the man to decide right there. They don't want the man to leave and go home and come back the next day to make a decision because as soon as he gets home, right, the wife is going to influence his decision. So women do that back home. She would tell him, oh, if you make this decision, it's going to affect my children. If you make this decision, it's going to affect my children this way or that way. So the guy's going to sit back and then rethink everything. Then when he goes back tomorrow to the family meeting, the whole conversation changes. That is why in Africa, men will hold the man down, not to leave. Make the decision right now. But a wise man will not do that. A wise man will go home because especially if the decision is going to affect your children and your wife,
Okay.
you have to go home and have that discussion with her.
Let me ask V, because I'm sure V wants to tell me how it goes down in Canada. V, do you know who determines a child's name?
I've seen a few situations. I've seen it along my circle of friends where it was the guy that decided. I've seen where both of them decided. I'll speak for my case. For one, it was the father, and then for the other, it was me. And I've seen situation like this where like the couple decide, okay, well, you will choose the boy's name and then you will choose if it's a girl type of thing. So I have seen a variety of decision making.
I don't know why that makes sense. I'm choosing if it's a boy or a girl. It don't make no sense to choose.
I'm choosing all of them.
But I'm intrigued to know me and V, because V wants a baby, right? What if we disagree? We disagree. I want this name. This is the name gonna be, and you like, no. And you know me, like I'm a very, 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 very much type person. Fine, then. Like if I believe, because I'm not a negotiator, right? I don't have a problem with compromising about things that don't mean anything to me, but I don't negotiate. Some things I'm not negotiating. So that means we had an impasse here. So that's enough for us to we go our separate ways. And I'm fine with that. I can live life that way. That's not a problem for me, right? So I'm wondering if we come to a position where it's like, this is what I want and this is what you want, ultimately, who would win if they both decided to do what they desire to do?
On a name? I mean, is it a question of I want this name as the first name or I want it as a middle name? Or like, I guess it depends. Like if one can be like, all right, you have it as a first name and you have it as a second name, then just go with that. If it's a I want this particular name for whatever reason, I don't know. I know in my case, for the firstborn, I just let it as that because it was what I call a dead man's promise. And so I always respect a dying man's wish. So I didn't even argue. I just said, okay, it is what it is. In the second case, we just had no idea. There was just no idea. Nobody knew. And then at the end, I came up with the name and he was fine with it. So I think it depends on the circumstance. So, hi, GB Javelle.
You guys are giving me ideal situations, okay? And I understand all different situations.
The easiest situation to look from is if y'all don't like each other, right? Y'all had a baby, right? And like she has a religion where she can't have an abortion, and he wants to name his child, and y'all don't like each other, and she like, no, I don't want that name. Who ultimately gets the last say? Like, who's going to get the last say out of that? That's all.
That is a better way.
It depends on Oscar. If our religion Okay, look at this, right? If her religion is
You about
against
to take it all over.
abortion, right? If her religion is against abortion and then she gets pregnant, guess what happened? She will actually allow the husband to name the children because her religion also says that the husband gets to name the children. So if she wants
Y'all
to
keep
take
making
all
ideal
that,
circumstances, though. That's an
that's
ideal
if
circumstance.
she if she's all that religious, right? Because most religion
Now listen.
on earth, the men get to name the child. If you're talking about religion, almost all religion on earth, the man gets to name the child, even Christianity.
All you heard was religion, bro. I'm only using religion like just to say
That's
that's
all
the
you
only reason
said.
why
So
she
that's
chooses
all
the
I
keys.
heard.
That's not all I said, bro. I gave a whole scenario.
You
I
didn't
gave a
say
whole
culture, you
scenario,
said religion. So I'm going based on religion that you
bro.
said. So if
I
you want
gave
to
a
say
whole
cultures,
scenario.
okay, Lee,
All
let
right,
me
go
give
ahead,
you
bro.
another.
Go ahead, you got it.
Okay, Lee, let me give you another and let me respond to another scenario. If it's culture, in some cultures, 99.9% men give names. In some culture, women name men and women name men name women. I'm sorry, men name men and women name women in some cultures.
Okay, you guys are just horrible people. Horrible people. All right, I'm going to try this again. If Blueface said, I want my child's name to be something different, what's going to happen? Because it seemed like y'all only understand like the worst, like the most insane like position statement for you guys to break down. Instead of understanding the answer would normally be, well, ultimately the woman get to decide no matter what the man says if she chooses to. But generally women don't do that, so they let the man decide. But to sit here and not just say ultimately the woman is the final decision maker is insane to me. It literally is. When y'all absolutely know what Lee asked was one of the best way to ask the question. What I was saying is so so blatantly like that. If they hate each other, who decides the child's name is a very good way. The way Lee described it. So V, do you understand the frustration that happens when I say who gets to decide the child's name ultimately if you guys disagree?
I understand. But I don't know. I know for my case, I know like I guess in the also, you know what, in most cases there are good chances that the new mother would end up winning, because she's most likely the one who's going to handle the paperwork, unless the new father decides to handle the paperwork. Then he can probably squeak whatever in.
I don't want you to handle the paperwork. I'm gonna do it myself. How does that then?
There you go then. But normally, but usually it would be one of those things that would have been talked beforehand, ideally before, like, we would have been like, the women would have been pregnant, like, hey, what, like, do you have any
Why
names
do y'all
that you
act like the majority of children being born are planned?
I'm just spacing
A
out.
lot of oops
But
babies.
the pregnancy is 9 months. So if the child is, if the father and the mother are in peace, right? They get to name, they start preparing the naming of the child 6 months into the pregnancy. 7 months into the pregnancy, they start preparing the names. But if they're not together, if it was a one night stand, yeah, Aaron, what you're saying adds up. But if they're together, no, they start planning naming of the child 6 months into the pregnancy. So, like somebody said, you have 40 weeks to figure that out. People do have time to figure out naming of a child. When my wife got pregnant, I already know what my child is gonna. I already started planning the name, so I already solidified the name already. You know what
You
I mean?
keep going back to marriage and structure. We are witnessing
I
a
just
relationship right
said
now. You keep going back to relationship. We are talking about a scenario right now where there is no structure, and we're talking about that situation. We're not talking about and even if they were together, if the wife was still like, yo, I want to name the kid, it's nothing the man still could do about it, bro. You can't say that because you got too much pride and ego, but it's really nothing like it's nothing you could do if your wife was like, and this is hypothetical and obviously probably 100% of the time this won't happen, but if the wife was like, yo, I want to name my kid and that's it, you couldn't do nothing about it. It's just that simple. The naming happens right there at the hospital. You don't go to court and do the naming. The naming happens right there. The birth certificate happens right there. So it's like, what are we talking about?
Well, you
It's
do
just
have
crazy
time
that
to name the child. You don't have to name the child right the second he pops out. You can go with the paperwork home and fill it out later if you really can't decide the hospital. It happens.
Okay, but how much time do you have?
Well, I don't know for the States, but I know in my case, I like by the time we decided on finally the name for the second borns, we had a letter from the government saying, could you please hurry up? But you usually have
How long
like
was
what? Probably like
If you
30
don't mind me
days
asking.
or well, I think
30 days.
we got the letter maybe 2 weeks in, but I think by at least Canadian law, you probably have like a good 30-ish days or something like that before they start saying, give us a name or else you get fines. But that's something you have to check with your own legislature. But it's not, they give you the impression that you need to decide right now. But if you don't, you just bring the paperwork home and then you fill it up online. Like,
That means Canada
I mean, you're
law
right, but you're attacking the
name
point of.
know
I mean, at the end of the day, even if in that 30 days, she still was like, I still want to be able to name the kid what I want. The man cannot do anything. I mean, maybe you can go to court. I don't know if you can go to court about a name, but I think usually the person that pushed the baby out is going to get the first say. So I'm not even mad at that. I'm just kind of like,
maybe,
crazy
but
how
like,
no one wants to say it.
what's the argument? Is the argument because I want, like, I don't know, Adam to be the first name versus the second name? Like, if it's just a question of like, I want this name, like, put it as a middle name or something. I don't think.
Oh no, no. All we're trying to say is that all we're trying to do is just give women their flowers. Yo, you got the power to. This is where your power is held. Like for example, right? You look at the Blueface Chrisean. They spoke inside. They spoke about him beating on her, right? He used to hit on her, whatever. And now she probably using her power. Like, yo, nah. Now I'm gonna do this. This is where I have the power. I have the power to say you can't be in the room. I have the power to name the baby what I want. And now you're about to see my power. So that's what all we speaking to is, do women have basically full autonomy when it comes to naming?
If they're by themselves in that room, yeah. It's not as if they're gonna go out. The nurse is gonna go outside to be like, hey, is anybody claiming that child? Here's the paperwork. No, they just give it all to the mother.
I'll put it this way, right? I'll put it this way. In a situation like what Lee is saying, in a situation whereby you have two people that are and people that are not traditional, they didn't have the child in a traditional form, and they're not even traditional at all because they're not married, and also they're not even boyfriend and girlfriend anymore because they separated since during her pregnancy, right? Yes, the woman is going to name the child because she has the autonomy over everything at the time of birth. Because in America, I think during during all this hospital stuff, the woman is always the one that nurses and they are being spoken to. They won't speak to the man most of the time. They will speak to the woman most of the time. So most paperwork is going to be signed by her, except the birth certificate, where it says father. But other than that, I think what Aaron is, I'm sorry, what Lee is saying, yes, he's right. Yeah, the woman would name the child because the law permits that.
Omni, where them shoes at that you promised us?
High top canvas. Hold on, let me bring up the mock-ups real quick because I got the mock-ups right here. You know what I'm saying? I was prepared. I just didn't know. I didn't want to cut into the conversation. Yeah. So I got high top canvas.
Yeah, I'm going
to those shoes make me cramp.
I'm going to send you my email address so you can send me a picture of all of them. That we'll talk
Absolutely.
About, okay? I'm
Absolutely. You got it.
I'm sending on private right now.
Exactly, Kazi. They're in the style of canvas shoes, but they're my own design. I sell them for $80 a pop because I do not want. I didn't want super expensive shoes for people. I wanted to be very affordable.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? These are going to be called the runner. These are called the runarounds. If you see on the side of them, they actually have my. They have lyrics on the side of them. My lyrics from my song "Runarounds" got over 1,000 streams, so I decided to celebrate it by making a shoe out of it. And then I'm going to, you know what I'm saying, do that. It's just going to be the runarounds for each song that I feel like making a shoe out of. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, it's not playing. Hold on. We got them in black. We got them in black. We got them in brown. And then we got them in navy and white. And also we got them in purple. You know what I'm saying? Love these joints.
Options, okay.
Yeah, options.
Which city do you stay in?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Louisville, Kentucky.
you know what I got the option to do in the show. And I've had enough. I tried. This show was just to get my thoughts out, put some filters out there to see what you thought. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board and really think this out because this frustrates me. This frustrates me a lot. But I'm going to have to sleep on it. I thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all as always. I will see you guys on the next show. And let me see here. I believe that the previous stream, I'll probably take it down tomorrow. That's probably what I'll do. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm going to see you guys on the next show.